You good? Doing? I don't know. I don't see any data yet. There we are. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? Happy Saturday, everybody. We got a couple people in here already. I don't know if anybody else is streaming at the moment. As per usual, let's find out. Doesn't look like it. Are we good? Yeah, looks like Campy is the only person streaming. Hell yeah, get out of here, Greg. Damn it. What's up, everybody? Whew. Sean. Looks like Noah from Rise of the Beast is getting some kind of exosuit to help fight with the Autobots. Yeah, it's something that definitely caught me off guard in the trailer, but it is there is a precedence for it, so I'm curious to see how the whole thing plays out. We got a new member here. Welcome, Vamp Girl. Welcome, welcome. Thought it would be okay during the last Flash episode with the hug with John broke me. I know, that felt like it was from Steven to David. That I love you. You could tell he meant that in real life. Yeah, I cried for an additional 15 minutes after it ended. That episode was a bit of a tough watch, man. But God, I loved it so much. So much. Man, I hope you're careful when reading the comments in the Stargate video. I've seen a few spoilers, nothing big, but it's still annoying considering some of those only show up after season 1 of SG-1. I saw a few, but I didn't see anything that I think was a spoiler. I didn't read a lot of the comments. I read a couple that were just like, dude, watch the show. A lot of your questions will be answered in the show, but I didn't see anything, any like details, thankfully. So if I do end up watching the show, I don't think anything's been like ruined for me, at least so far. And if I did read anything, I just immediately forgot it, because sometimes if there's no like frame of reference, my brain just doesn't save that information. And what's up, James Gunn? How you doing, buddy? I think Freddie Stroma, Vigilante from Peacemaker, would make an amazing Booster Gold. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I would like a Glenn Powell, I think, as a Booster Gold. I think that could be fun. I believe the reason Tom Cavanaugh is the main Thawne is because he's present-day Thawne, while Matt is supposed to be Thawne when he's younger. This doesn't make much sense since Matt is Thawne. You know, it's. I mean, as he's explained before, the only reason Tom Cavanaugh is Thawne in most present-day iterations is because he chooses to be Harrison Wells. Because you got to remember, that's not his face. That's not just Matt Letcher grown up. That's Harrison Wells' face. It's a choice. I mean, I know the real world reason behind it to an extent, but yeah, none of it makes sense when you start to peel it down, though. What's up, Jamie? Wheeljack is a brown van. That's weird. There's a couple of different changes that they made throughout there too, but we'll see. What's up, Sheena? I saw you shared that that dice set I saw with the ring in it. I know you don't play. I know you don't play, but I figured you'd appreciate that. And you should play. You should play. I think you'd love it. Insomniacs in symbol. Insomniacs in symbol. Insomniacs assemble. Last episode of The Flash was the first I've seen in years, and my God, was I lost at all. The new faces, and Caitlin is neither Caitlin nor Frost. Wild. Yeah, it's a little bit of catching up, but I feel like none of that really matters in the long run, outside of the Barry blood work and all that. Pretty much, I think the only groundwork you need to know is Crisis and the Bloodworks arc. So as long as you have that in your back pocket, I think it's pretty solid. What's up, Darren? How you doing, man? Dude, this week's episode, man. This week's episode. So good. What's up, Zaven? Flash was amazing, but I didn't cry, and I feel weird about it. Aw. Oh my God, dude. I was like, and I knew that this was the episode. I knew Steven was coming. Before it was announced before the season even aired. He announced it publicly, and that's not something I expected. That's one of the things I didn't think I needed to mute Stephen Amell going into this season of The Flash, because I had muted The Flash because there's already a bunch of like set photos and stuff like being passed around. And again, no shade to Canada Graphs, he's doing his due, but his followers, man, the people that subscribe and get those early peeks, those guys they unleash the havoc upon the world. So I've known all of the cameos that were coming this season, and I still know the ones that haven't happened yet. But the Stephen Amell thing was publicly announced in interviews, in trailers, and by Stephen himself. And that was how I found out, was from Stephen himself, like initially when he talked about it. So yeah, it was a little rough, but even despite that, man, I was a mess. Mess. Campy is streaming, but I'm here. Yeah, I saw Campy was the only person streaming, at least that I follow right now, so he's fine. Leave him alone. Episode 9 of The Flash was the best episode of Arrowverse for me. Yes, the best Arrowverse episode ever. I don't know if I would go that far, because there are still some really good episodes, but it's definitely it's probably a top 10 at least for me. It's definitely the best Flash episode we've had in a long time. Last episode of Flash was 10 out of 10, best episode of the season, maybe the best crossover of the show. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it is definitely, and it being the last crossover was crazy. Let's see, 10 out of 10 episode of The Flash, better than Arrow season 5 finale. Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, I think it's a better finale for Arrow than Arrow's actual finale. By far the best standalone crossover episode. Oh, by far. I would put the song and dance number episode up there pretty high, but yeah, this definitely still beats that, but I might also be a little biased on that. It was so good, I almost tempted to pick up the show where I left off, but from the comments I've seen, no thank you. Yeah, I don't know about that. I really don't think these last 2.5 seasons are really like, oh, these are the seasons you need to go and catch up on. Like, even coming from me, like, if you're not devout or just like in for the haul, no matter how much shit you're shoveling into your mouth, and it's not that bad. Like it's just not as good as it has been. That's a little hyperbolic, but it's I mean, if you haven't been in it for a while, nothing you're gonna see is gonna bring you back into it. But I would say that if you like this episode, stay tuned for the final arc. If you were at least around for seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, actually the first 3 seasons, let's just say that. I think this next arc is where they've been saving all of their money. They better have. But I think these last 4 episodes are going to be more for people who probably fell off the truck a long time ago. Fun fact or flash fact, seasons 7 and 8 are the only Flash seasons without a Flash and Arrow crossover. Well, yeah, for I mean, a particular reason initially, but yeah, for sure. Honestly, the exosuit idea is way better than having a transformer with a human character fighting an evil human. Agreed. Who's my favorite Lex Luthor? Michael Rosenbaum. Like, hands down. Hands down. More like hands up, because we're shooting that from across the court, and it's going in. Clancy Brown. Great voice, but I'd still love me some Michael Rosenbaum, man. Some Rosie all day. When Barry said to Oliver, he saved Central City 180 times, that was a reference to the episode number. It was the 180th episode of The Flash overall, while Arrow had 170. Yeah, that's why he's like, 170 times? Well, actually 180. Fucking like jab, man. It's so fucking hilarious, though. But that doesn't add up necessarily, because The Flash has had many, many, many more episodes than Arrow has. I mean, we've had, what, two full seasons since Arrow ended. each with like 18 episodes. So that math, I'm not sure exactly what that equates to, unless like they're counting the arcs within the season and then the standalone episodes in between. So I guess that could line up. It's just not an exact episode count, I guess. What's up, Rick Films? Hello, welcome. What's your opinion on Legends of Tomorrow being less serious than the other Arrowverse shows? I mean, it very much so was less serious. While they still tackle some serious moments here and there, it was like the palate cleanser show. And while it didn't start off that way, I think they found a benefit of not making all the shows feel the same. Because once Arrow started to feel like The Flash in season 4, well, it didn't work out that well because it stopped really feeling like Arrow. So they went back to that immediately. So with The Legends of Tomorrow, they pivoted. You're like, okay, well, how can we make this stand out and not just feel like another one of the shows? While it was an ensemble super team, I think going into the comedy route with the zany, wild stuff, putting it at a later time so they can make cruder jokes and tackle a little more mature stuff while just having some weird ass times, I think it works, because while it takes some of the seriousness out of it, I think it does when you're watching all these shows while they're all cycling on during the same time period. It feels kind of nice to not watch something that feels so tonally the same, because I felt like that for a while when you'd have like Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and Legends all in the same week. And I'm at the end of the week, by like mid-season, I'm like, God damn, man, I'm a little burned out right now. Like I recall feeling like that. So I think changing up some of the show's tones and vibes really helped with that. Flash will have 184 episodes in total when the show ends, 16 less than 200. Is that math correct? I don't understand how that math adds up. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Rewind. I'm good. I'm an idiot. Honestly, after The Flash, I don't think I'm ready to let go of my corny Arrowverse shows. I wish there was something somebody could do. Especially after an episode like this, man. And Steven's like, man, I want to do more. He wants to come back and do more Arrow stuff. He wants to come back and do more Oliver Queen stuff. He doesn't want to do like a 22 episode season order for the CW. He wants to do something different with the character, but he does want to come back to play the character, and that just makes me sad that there's not a way to do that unless he somehow gets revived in Superman and Lois and gets to make some appearances there as their Oliver Queen. That would allow him to do something different and play around, but that would be interesting. Feels so great to actually watch a great episode of The Flash. By far the best standalone episode. Hands down, easy. What's up, good vibes? Welcome. Stargirl and Daredevil both had 3 seasons, 39 episodes. Goated shows? Which show was better? Oh, dude, Daredevil. I love Stargirl. Daredevil is a much better put together show. Stargirl season 1 was great, but I do think that it kind of did, not that they went downhill, but the seasons 2 and 3 were not as good as season 1 to me, but I still really enjoyed them. While I think Daredevil only had one real hiccup of a season, and even by that standard, it wasn't much of a hiccup by comparison. But that's me. Everybody's going to feel differently about different shows and stuff like that. But for me, Daredevil just hands down slaps the crap out of Stargirl. Some people didn't like when people name characters that are not named yet and consider it spoilers, so I thought I would mention it anyway. Fair enough. What's the best season of Daredevil and the best season of Stargirl? Stargirl, season 1. Daredevil, I would say, I don't know, man. I really like season 3. Season 1's like a lot of groundwork. It's really good, but I think I enjoy season 3 the most to me. How do you feel about the possibility of seeing Nicolas Cage as Superman fighting a robot spider in the Flash movie? I feel infuriated if they had a lineup of people to choose and they chose not to include Grant, but include Nicolas Cage fighting a robot spider. They can fuck off with that. I'm so butthurt. learning about I hope that was a PR stunt to keep us off our toes because they know things are going to come out of CinemaCon. I don't know. I hope that's just some bullshit because that should be the primary. That should be your priority cameo to include in the film. Him or John Wesley Shipp or both. Both. Who gives a fuck about that? I mean, it's funny. But when you have something that actually kind of matters, it's kind of stupid. And it mildly pisses me off for having enjoyed the trailers and everything coming up to this so much. Yeah, I'm a little annoyed about that revelation. Last Teen Titans episode was pretty good. I also agree. It was pretty solid. The Bloodwork stuff was a little weird, but yeah, it was definitely, it was overall very good. So it's public knowledge now, the director himself is confirming Grant Gustin is not in the Flash movie. I literally just touched on that. I foresaw where that conversation was going to go. Bloodwork is one of my favorite villains of the Flash, so I'm glad they brought him back. Me too. Yes, y'alls. And Oliver seemingly already sensed that in a way, because that was teased. That stinger was teased. His return in season 9, I forgot about this, was teased at the end of the crossover comic event that came out last year. Completely forgot about that. Yes, they were stunning. My birthday is in June. Thanks, Mike. We'll see. Let's see. Do you forgive the first 8 episodes of Flash season 9 if the last 4 episodes are just as good as this week's? If it's like I said, like maybe I'm gaslighting myself just to not like worry about it all that much. But because the CW didn't increase their budget for these episodes, but they gave them a set number to wrap up on, my presumption is that they had to fill out those episode times. Obviously, they didn't have enough budget to do a bunch of baller things all season long. So my hope is that they try to give us the best stories they could tell while saving as much money as they possibly could so that they can go out on a high note. And if we go out on a high note, if from this episode onward it just hits, it just lands, then I'll be on board. I will forgive the first 8 episodes. So Arrow can only show up for multiversal events. He's in Multiverse Cop. I like it. I liked all the explanations that they gave into this. Why he couldn't just blip Ramsey away with a snap of his finger. You know, they had a good little like hand-wavy reason behind his involvement, his return, why he was nerfed, and all of that. And I liked it all. I liked it. I think they did a really good job. Let's see. What's up, Shams? I'm doing well. How are you? The ratings for the episode were less than Becky Sharp awful episode, so what was the point in spoiling? No one watched it. Well, I mean, we'll see. You gotta remember, and I say this, so you gotta remember, like, most people don't watch The Flash opening night. Most people don't watch it on CW.TV. A lot of people don't watch it live at all. So a lot of those ratings I don't trust for the CW because it doesn't apply to the way the CW distributes its content. Plus, The Flash and Superman and Lois continue to be at least in the top 10 most pirated TV shows in the world. So some people don't even officially watch it that way. Most people even wait for it to come out on Netflix in their region. So I'm not that bothered by it. It's going to get hit with the views it's going to get hit with. As always, the CW model doesn't really care about live views at all. Hell, I didn't watch it live because I couldn't. So, I don't know. It's not a big deal. I'm not worried about that. Ratings for CW shows mean absolutely nothing. Oh god, that's hilarious. Not muting the only person you think won't spoil you, but they do anyway. Yeah, his reasoning I get. Because they did have to film outside, and he knew, based on how much he's been in the industry in that area, that if they film it outside, somebody's going to take pictures, and it's going to get out anyway. So he figured he would be the one to rip that Band-Aid. So I get it, but like, damn. But the thing is, I didn't know what to mute. I should have just muted all of Flash, but that doesn't always work. And, you know, it was just getting shared left and right, even with no tags at all. A lot of these things, like especially the stuff here in the back half that hasn't come yet. That was some of the first stuff I saw, even before I saw like the Oliver thing that I can remember. But like, I didn't know how to avoid it, because it's not like I can just turn off Twitter, and I'm not Blind Wave. I can't hire somebody to run my Twitter account for me so I don't get spoiled. So it sucks. I would have loved to have gone into any of this not knowing anything, but it kept my optimism high knowing it was around the corner, at least. So maybe that's one of the reasons too, I, like some maybe who didn't know what was coming, was able to look at these shitty episodes with like a smile on my face and try to find the silver lining in each episode, because I knew my Canadian husband is coming around the corner to return and grace us with his presence. Well, yeah, that's just how I felt about it. But yeah, it is a real weird way to find out about it. When Oliver was talking to John, was that possibly a Green Lantern tease that he was talking about Brightest Days? I think it was a play on words. I think that is obviously what they were drawing on. You know, your brightest days are ahead of you because you chose your family. That line, I think, was a nod to them wanting to do the Green Lantern stuff, but I don't think that means that John will become the Green Lantern still. I think he was reassuring John for having turned down the ring. So I think that was another line to reinforce that he's not going to become a Green Lantern. I don't think that's going to be what's happening. I don't think that's what that was meant to say. I heard some people saying before the episode came out, some people that got to watch the episode early, say that that's what that was alluding to, but in the line read, in the moment, it doesn't feel like that to me at all, personally. How to Train Your Dragon 2 could be really cool to see in live action. I mean, they all could be really cool in it, but I don't know if it would still have the same effect, but they're remaking the first one in live action, so we'll see how that goes. What's up, Terry and Joe? Good morning. So glad you enjoyed Stargate. It's great seeing someone check out older sci-fi and have a blast with it. The costume designs are still great. Do you think you'd be keen for more? If I can find time, because it's not... Some of those older shows, you know, like I've talked about this with a lot of those older shows like that, Battlestar, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Supernatural, all those shows that kind of still kind of were locked into that old, like, broadcast television format. It's not an easy task to just go into as a one-person show here, because that's a long haul, even if it's not as long of a haul as it would be for some of the other shows I just mentioned, but like, it's still quite the commitment. So while I would love to, it's just gotta finding the right time, and the vibe to do it. But I would definitely be open to it for sure, because it definitely left me with so many questions, and I had a lot of fun watching that movie. Just curious, which Arrowverse episodes do you think are better than this week? I may go rewatch them. I mean, I can't name one just off the top of my head other than just like the confrontation, the reveal with Thawne with I don't know, there's definitely episodes I know, like as a whole, I think are better, but I just can't name any specific ones. It's just like a gut feeling, you know? I think like a lot of the Primo OG Season 1 Thawne episodes or Harrison Well and Barry episodes are still pretty solid as like a standalone thing. I don't know, it's hard to say. Even some Arrow episodes from early on. But like, I can't name a specific one. I like the standalone crossovers in the Flash seasons. Me too. I think when you keep it nice, neat, and you know, grounded, I think they work really well. Even sometimes a lot better than the big, massive, all the show crossovers. What's the deal with DC thinking fans are stupid to tell the difference between the movie and TV versions of characters? I don't know. I've never understood that. So I can't tell you. I have no idea what's up with that. But what's up, Marcus? Welcome, man. I'll watch through your reaction. Hell yeah. You could do that. You could do that too. To be honest, To enjoy episode 9 of The Flash, you need to at least watch all of the Arrowverse till the end of Crisis. I don't think all of the Arrowverse. You just need to be caught up on The Flash and caught up on Arrow and obviously Crisis. I don't think you need everything in there because they don't reference all of it. But yeah, those are the core tenets of it. The new Fast and Furious trailer looks really good and silly. I'm really excited for it. It looks batshit insane, as they all tend to do these days, but I'm down for it. What are some beers and wines you would recommend? I probably won't drink right away, but nonetheless, I need to know from the whining Omni himself. Now, I'm not like a wine aficionado, man. I don't really even know my wines. I buy locally, so it's not like it doesn't have all the frilly fancy names on the bottle. It's literally just, this is what our shit's made out of. And I basically just go off of that. So I'm not the best person to come to for wine advice. I like my wine fruity. I do not like it dry. That's for sure. And I don't know, because I don't even think our local stuff, I don't think you could really get it anywhere else, because it's one of the few things that I've really found that I can at least consistently enjoy. But like, dude, I don't know. Outside of that, I really like honey turkey whiskey. That's what I had been drinking. And but I add more honey. I have a bottle of honey that I use for like my teas and stuff that I make on occasion, especially like when my throat gets rough. But like yeah, Moscato's good. See, yes. Blue Moon. I don't like Blue Moon. I've never really enjoyed Blue Moon. I do like apple cider, Red's apple cider. I think that's fine. If we're talking like ales or beers or whatever. But yeah, I use that honey and I add it to my whiskey, and it makes it even sweeter. It goes down even better. I put a couple of ice cubes in there, let them melt along with the honey and all that, and it's nice. Do you think there's a chance for James Gunn to get Michael back as Lex since he worked with him on Guardians of the Galaxy? I mean, it's a possibility, but I wouldn't get our hopes up based on the fact that we're rebooting everything. It's crazy, man. Guardians is right around the corner. We're only a few days away. Feeling good? I'm whining right now too. Hell yeah! Wine time! Watched Fast 4, 5, and 6 this week. Shit, so good. Love the characters and their dynamics, and the action is entertaining as fuck. I've talked about this before. I miss when it was just grounded and, just street racing and stuff like that. Like the whole like Point Break inspiration it took from. But I do also really enjoy just the batshit insanity the series has evolved into. And I do think at the end of the day, the seventh one is still my favorite. But yeah, I enjoy it actually. Arrow had 170 episodes. The first 6 seasons were 23 each. 7 was 22. See, that's the thing. I completely forgot the season numbering. So yeah, my math was definitely fucked. So yeah, that you were right on that. Apologies. I was sad on this episode of Flash. I was so happy. So happy and sad. Like, it was like all the emotions. I will rage if Cisco does not come back for the Flash finale. If it's funny, because if they've kept any cameo secret, it's this one. They might win. I would be appalled if the show ended and Cisco doesn't return. But there's no evidence of it, and the actor says they never reached out to him, but that was also before they even shot the final couple episodes, so who knows? That may have been rectified and we just don't know about it. I wouldn't see them filming any of that outside with Cisco, so they might have actually been able to keep that under wraps. One can hope. Omni-3. Final Guardians 3 death predictions. Drax, Nebula, maybe Kraglin. Rocket. I think Rocket is like 2,000% dead. As well as Drax. Nebula, don't know. Kraglin, don't know. But I would definitely put my money that Drax and Rocket die. Maybe WB executives won't allow Michael Rosenbaum to return as Lex in Superman Legacy because they feel it would confuse audiences and make them question why Tom Welling isn't playing Superman. I mean, they need to stop that shit. I think James Gunn understands that, but I don't see them casting a Lex we know if we're going to be rebooting that whole pocket. This episode proves they can still make great episodes, which annoys me about the filler episodes that have nothing happening. Again, I think that's a lot of that's budgeting and them trying their best to find excuses to not have anything too crazy happening. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. You as well, Ranger. It's a popular rule amongst fans, if we don't see a dead body, they're not actually dead, so Oliver of the Superverse may be alive. Maybe. Barry number 2 in the Flash movie, his suit looks like a Batman suit painted red. It is. Like it is. I wonder if he has no powers, so Batman electrocutes him to have powers. I think we see that in the trailer. That's what most people have been saying, what most people's theories have been, that he hadn't got his powers yet. But yeah, it's Michael Keaton's Batman Returns suit that he's wearing, and he just spray painted it with his colors. So yeah. It'd be nice for DC to stop treating their fans like they're idiots. I would also agree. Because Barry 1 erased all metahumans. Yep. Yup. I'm glad that Barry and Oliver saved the new multiverse first before the DCEU did. Agreed. I do. And I will keep it forever in my head, no matter what James says or whatever comes out of it. Oliver is the one overlooking all of it. All of it. And if they introduce their own Spectre, even if they don't acknowledge it, it'll be like, Oliver finally passed the torch to the new one. And that's what I'll leave it at. Based on the filler episodes season, I can't trust Eric Wallace's excuse. He didn't have time to conclude Legends. I mean, like, would you really wanted that quality of it though? I mean, again, like all I need is a throwaway line. I don't want like a full episode dedicated to the Legends. You also have to understand that scheduling for all these other actors that have been let go from their shows that are now open to other stuff, a lot of them already have new shows in line that they're working on. You'd have to schedule these things. You'd have to do all this stuff. I think at best, Legends just needs a throwaway line. I think expecting the Flash to full out do like an episode or series of episodes about the Legends is a little unrealistic, but I still would like something. Are you excited for Secret Invasion? Hell yeah. Very excited. DCEU Flash is putting the multiverse in danger. CW Flash only put his universe in danger, not multiple universes. That's true. That is true. Man, but this Flash episode, they didn't even invite Jay Garrick and Cisco and Joe. At least we see Joe the next episode. Do we? I wasn't aware. And we don't know the in-universe reasons why they did. Who knows? Maybe they got the invite and they just couldn't come. Josh Keaton, Spider-Man in Spider-Man universe is what I want. All Josh Keaton. I mean, I know a lot of people do. That'd mean nothing to me, but I hope so for you. What's up, Sinesh? Just joined the live stream. What are you talking about? We're just kind of talking about a bunch of random stuff. You guys pretty much decide and steer the conversation. I just basically read chat and respond to your messages. So whatever you want to talk about. I mean, primarily we've been talking a lot about the recent episode of The Flash. What's up, Gore? Hey, man. Just dropping by to say hi. What's up? Welcome. Hope you're having a good weekend. Having fun with Jedi Fallen or Jedi Survivor, I hope. You have better luck with it than I did. I had to replay everything I played in the first part of my video again on PS5 just so I could get a much more stable experience. I really hope they fix that PC shit, man. Never had any issues with the first game. Honestly, I haven't had any PC port issues with any game in the last 10 years, I would say, until this one. It's annoying. How to rank the speedster villains? Thawne, Zoom, Savitar, Godspeed, Red Death. Honestly, in that order. It would be in that order, personally. Let's see. Love the last episode of Superman and Lois and how it gave insight into how Clark is dealing with Lois's mortality, or rather, how he hasn't been dealing with it. Again, another beautiful example about while, again, this episode, I mentioned this in my reaction, that it did have some soap opera tropies creep in, some typical TV tropes that I'm not always a fan of, like the Lana stuff. But everything else about the main thread was beautifully handled, and the stuff with Jonathan was really beautifully handled. This show, like, continues to impress me, save for some things in season 2. But this season, the way they've been dealing with this Lois Lane storyline has been just heartwarmingly handled all at the same time. Can you give your predictions on episode 10? I haven't seen the promos for it, but I know it's going to follow up on a thread that was left open at the end of season 8. For people who don't know, because I do know that there's some people in the chat who don't know and don't want to have any false expectations for the next episode. Particularly, I think that's what we're talking about, unless they're talking about for Flash. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm not gonna say anything. But I know like I said earlier, I know who all the villains are that are gonna show up. I know who the storyline centers around. So it is what it is. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I don't know how they're gonna get into it. I don't know how it comes to be, but we'll find out. What's up, Michael? Loved your Stargate reaction yesterday. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with that one. But I hope you're having a good day too. Signs 4, episode 9 and 10 are so good. Last 2 episodes need to keep this momentum. I want a lot of action in the series finale. I hope they deliver. Hope they land it. Let's see. Especially because they've seen the DCEU Flash in the show. They could have used that scene again and then the continuation of it from Ezra's point of view. It's what I really wanted. That is what I wanted, man. Let's see. What's your favorite season of Game of Thrones? Oh, that's tough. Probably... I think... Hold on. I need to double check. Yeah, I think season 6. I think season 6 is my favorite. What's up, 5-Star Gaming? Howdy, howdy, howdy! Welcome. Sincerely disappointed that they couldn't let Cyborg stick around for the end of Titans. I mean, it's only 2 more episodes. Yeah! I'm right there with you. I'm not gonna lie, I got my hopes up a little bit. I didn't expect them to, but it was such a great opportunity to have the full set there. And I'm a little disappointed, but it's fine. Everything I've seen in the trailers and heard in the reviews makes me want Sasha Calle get her own Supergirl movie so bad. Well, there is a Supergirl standalone movie in James Gunn's announcement plan, so I don't know. Will she continue on, or will they cast somebody new? We'll just have to wait and find out. Oliver Spector fits him so much as a character. I honestly agree. I kind of like Zoom more than Thawne. Zoom is more straightforward. Thawne has Barry eating a breadcrumb trail. Yeah, I get that, but Thawne is just too crazy for me. I like Thawne way more than Zoom. Zoom's a little too typical bad guy for me sometimes, but it's me. Oh, also, the meme you said you didn't recognize. Have you not seen The Fifth Element? Please tell me you've seen The Fifth Element. Okay, I thought that may have been what that was. But honestly, I've seen it one time. I saw it when I was probably like 10 or 11. And I gotta say, I can tell you all I know is that at that time, I did not like that movie. Would I like it now? Maybe. I've never watched it again. I've I didn't enjoy it when I saw it, is all I can tell you. But I don't, aside from Bruce Willis, like the cover art, Bruce Willis, why am I blanking right now on his name? I remember all the cast members and what their characters look like, but I cannot tell you at all what happens in the movie, except for, I think, what the fifth element is. I think I remember that, and I remember laughing my ass off when I was a kid. Like when I was younger at that revelation, thinking it was dumb as hell. But I don't know. It could play completely different if I watched it today. But, which I might do one of these days, because, I mean, honestly, like I said, I don't remember anything else about the movie. Agree with the statement made before about the Flash movie and having JDM play Batman in it instead of Michael Keaton. Like, it's cool he's back, but I would like that a lot. Exactly. Eric Wallace. If I was Eric Wallace, I would have made the first episodes even more trash. And I wouldn't have done Red Death at all. I would have made 6 cheap interlude episodes and 7 banger episodes. That's hilarious. Oh God, you barely have anybody watching these final couple episodes, that's the case. If Grant is not in the Flash movie because the genuinely couldn't work in a schedule for him, or do you think that Grant might actually be done playing the Flash, possibly turning down the cameo? He said that he came down to what they had to choose. So that's Andy Muschietti's words. Whatever that means outside of that, I don't know. But he said that when it came down to it, they chose the ones they chose. That Grant was originally going to be in it, so I don't know if it was a scheduling thing, I don't know if it was Grant, I don't know, whatever, but that wording makes me think that he just decided that those cameos weren't important enough to be in the show, in the movie. And if that's the case, big old fuck you. If there's like a legitimate real world reason why, okay, all power to you. If not, if it was literally like, he was just like, at the end of the day, where I pick, if I can have Grant Gustin or I can have Nicolas Cage as his defunct Superman, and he picked that over Grant. If that was the case, then I feel like I have a right to be a little upset about that. 90s and 2000 shows would save money through bottle episodes and clip shows. Bottle episodes can be absolutely fantastic if written right. They could have tried that. I liked the one where they were trapped in a time loop. I thought that one was fun. All the ones before that were just kind of like, okay, all right. They said they couldn't make time for Grant to cameo in the film, which I refuse to believe, especially... See, that's the conflicting information there. So they couldn't make time for him to fit in the film. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. You could have. Like, easy. I don't know. Again, it all comes down to what actually happened behind the scenes, which we will probably never know. But yeah, it's whatever at this point. I wonder if any of the new DC shows will be in top 10 torrents. Probably Lanterns. We'll wait and find out. What are your predictions on episode 10? I think a familiar face will return and shock everybody, and we'll see. Something blue? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, otherwise a shit ton of shows we've been canceled years ago if the CW cared about the ratings. Exactly. Who's my favorite CW hero and villain? Oh, Ollie. Hands down, Ollie. Green Arrow. Oliver Queen. Steven, my man, Amell. Villain? Prometheus, probably. Probably Prometheus, I would say. I do like how they chose an Autobot who hasn't been in the movies to be friends with the human character, because they've always... Yes! I didn't even think that. I didn't even think about that. I like that as well, having Mirage be the human counterpart in this, instead of just doing Bumblebee again. I do need to watch Bumblebee before this movie comes out, though. The new John looks so much more like Jordan. I do agree, and I think in this last episode, last 2 episodes, I finally got to see him kind of step into that role and make it his own. Because I still, like, as much as, like, I'm used to seeing him now, I'm still comparing him to Jordan Elsass, and I need to stop doing that. I'm not the biggest Green Lantern fan, but I was curious to see if Diggle would be the Green Lantern, even though I understand why they wrapped it up. Yeah, I get it. see, Jon Stewart he was the Green Lantern I grew up with. He was my favorite Green Lantern of the time. So when they set up that he was John Diggle Stewart, I was really hoping that would eventually pay off. And they're doing Unicron. And Unicron looks really cool. Unicron looks like Unicron, man. I don't feel like Jordan is still not ready for the field yet. He still freezes. That's true. He did freeze in the last episode, despite everything he's been barking. Well, not to mention that I think it was, so far, this is the best season of Superman and Lois. It's so massively different than any other CW show, and I won't lie, I'm very grateful for that. I agree. I don't know. I don't know if I would put it above season 1 just yet. I do think the writing's very strong, but the main core, like, you know, the Bruno Mannheim stuff, I'm still waiting for that to kick into gear. But it's definitely got ramped up, I think, better than season 2 so far. That's for sure. Do you think if we ever get Steven and Grant as Arrow and Flash again, if we never get them again, this was a perfect end for them? Yes. I think it was a great bookend if we never see those two again. A Diggle Green Lantern TV show, I'd probably call it Green Lantern Spartan. That could be cool. That would be cool. Hope Daredevil Born Again gets 3 seasons. Man, the fact that it's getting 18 episodes still blows my brain. What are your predictions on episode 10? I mentioned that earlier. It looks like a repost. So hyped for Secret Invasion. Me too. For real. I can't wait for that. I think it's going to be really good. What's up, 60? Sorry I've been around the last 2 view streams. Some bad and traumatic stuff happens with my family, so I haven't been able to make it. I just want to say I'm sorry. Hey, no. Don't apologize. Don't apologize about stuff happening in your life, man. Especially if you've got some really bad stuff going on. I hope you're okay. Hope everybody in your family's okay. But yeah, you do you. Take care of yourself. Don't worry about being here. You're not required to be here. You're not losing attendance points or anything like that. Take care of yourself, man. You and yours. It's way more important than showing up to these. For Superman and Lois, I wanted to slap all the Cushings for how they were playing hot potato with Sophie. I come from a very non-traditional family, and I was a community kid, but I never felt so unwanted. I've seen that. I know people that have done that. That's a very real thing. But at the end of the day, like that's shit that happens sometimes. And I like that they played. I like that the hot potato playing with Sophie thing kind of had its own kind of meta feel to the storyline. But I kind of liked how it played out in the end. But yeah. I think for that reason, it was meant to be frustrating because those situations are always frustrating. But you can't tell me, I mean, it is all their faults at the end of the day. But it is what it is. Life is life. I feel like John is going to activate his powers in a very serious adrenaline moment, just like what happened with Jordan in season 1. I hope at this point that Jonathan doesn't get powers personally. I know a lot of people still want him to. I hope he doesn't. Personally. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. feels like it's a mission to complete, but not all the seasons are bad. I need to give it another chance one of these days. Like I said before, I stopped after I finished season 2, and I just never picked back up with it again. I'm also seeing Mario today. Hope you enjoy it. I found it quite lovely and enjoyable. The new multiverse can always be in danger, so it's not the end for Barry and Oliver. If HBO Max wanted, they could do more crossover specials. That's true. That is true. I love the cancer storyline Superman and Lois because it forces him to face the possibility of losing Lois, which most iterations don't do. Yeah, unless you're talking Injustice, and I just really hope we don't go that route. Sinesh, stop posting the same question. I read these all when I get to them. I'm like 25 minutes behind whatever is currently in the chat, so you gotta be patient. To be honest, I don't like Lana right now. Oh yeah, she's been rough this season, man. I think she's crossed a multitude of lines this season. While I understand her frustrations, they're bleeding into her personal relationships, which is a real thing to happen, but doesn't mean I have to like her. I've been hearing good things. The Stargate itself is a great concept for a TV show. It would have been stupid not to have done anything with it. That's true, because again, like you can like, there's so much that can open up with the access to all these different remote worlds or whatever. When you got this gate that can take you across the galaxy, across the universe. Episode 10 is supposed to be a part 1 for something. Oh yeah, episode 10, like Eric Wallace said, these last 4 episodes are a 4-part finale. They are, he described them as, rather than an hour-long or 2-hour-long finale, think of the last 4 episodes as a 4-hour finale. Let's see. So yeah. Bleeding Cool wrote a pretty cool article calling out the WB and director BS about Grant, a guy who played a role for 10 years. Hollywood still draws a line on TV and movies, but they still have a lot of hypocrisy. 1000%. They should be called out for that. That should have been their like I said earlier, that should have been their priority above any other cameo to me. Yeah, I agree with you about the episode where Thawne says Merry Christmas is amazing. This episode of The Flash was bad. It would have been the biggest letdown in history. 100%. Yes. They better not get rid of Jonathan Majors. Well, we'll see what happens, man. Disney is not one to play like WB will try to fork people around as long as they can, no matter what they get into. You know, WB doesn't really care all that much about what's going on in the public sphere with most of the people that they work with, barring a few minor incursions here and there. Disney, though, the second there's a whiff of like bad blood, because it's Disney and their brand, their family brand is important. Yeah. We don't know yet, but they haven't said anything yet, which is kind of surprising because I would have expected Disney to have made an executive decision already before anything had actually come out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the courts, what comes out with the evidence, and I'm sure Disney will make a call one way or the other, and we'll see what happens. I like him as an actor, but if this ends up being true, man, it just sucks for any of the people that ran across his path, but we'll see. I don't have an opinion one way or the other right now because I love his work, but we'll see. With Lil Kent, I think he's used to being overlooked to some extent as a sibling to a high needs kid, but now it's to the point where he feels neglected and no one sees him, but is still open-hearted. I love that aspect of it because you're very, very right. Very right. I love that whole I like what they're doing with them, and I want them to, I would like for them to keep exploring that. But also like how him and Jordan's relationship really hasn't changed at all. Like, sure, he might feel left out and all this stuff, but they still just fuck with each other all the time, and I like that shit. Superman and Lois Season 3 has to have that one episode they have every season, right? Like the Fletcher suit episode and Bizarro World episode. We'll see what it is. We'll see what it is. In my opinion, the Arrowverse started to fall off after Crisis ended. This makes me wonder if they overstayed their welcome since Crisis was teased in the first episode of The Flash. My perspective is kind of very in line with that. However, the first couple of things we saw right out of Crisis with the interplay was great. It was what was promised at the end of Crisis with them putting all the worlds together in one place so that they could play around more fluidly without all these cockamamie explanations to make it all work. So like, there was a lot of promise, there was a lot of expectation after it, and then the pandemic hit and just completely destroyed the crossover that they were going to do in the next year, the Batwoman Superman crossover that they were going to do. It destroyed the interconnectivity between the shows. It hurt the shows because they had to work with these guidelines that made it difficult to even do any of the storylines they wanted to do. And I honestly think it permanently damaged their momentum after Crisis. I think what could have came after Crisis would have been a great thing. But then that happened, and these low budget shows on the CW couldn't withstand it. And they couldn't ever really recover from that. And it's because of that Superman and Lois even ended up on a different Earth to begin with. So it just sucks. But yeah. I hope we get an origin story for Reverse Flash. I think we might. I do think we might. But we'll see. Belgian beers are the best. No, I'm not biased. Moscato, sweet bubbly wine. Man, this is how far behind I am. I'm almost 33 minutes behind on chat now. Yep, Blue Moon. I remember I actually read those earlier. I would pay good money for a Transformers and Fast and Furious crossover. They talked about it. That has come up. There's also talks of a Jurassic World and Fast and Furious crossover movie. I'm so glad that we're doing Witcher Season 3 after the whole Superman thing. I mean, they were doing it anyway. That was done before all the Superman stuff. It's Season 4 of The Witcher that he's not going to be in. Sinesh, I don't know if you understand how this live chat works. No offense to her, but the actress for Allegra just isn't that good. I just feel even if they got Jeff Johns to write for the show, it won't be able to make the fans like her. No, I agree. I mean, I don't dislike the character, but she has been shafted as far as the writing goes. There's been some moments where I definitely agree or like feel for the character and all of that, but yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know what you could do at this point to really salvage anything. It's a berry. She made it. You think that there are any DCU movies in 2025 besides Superman? I think so, but I don't know what. I don't know. I would have to imagine maybe. There possibly would have to be something else, but I don't know. Oh, this is just a rumor, but Ezra still stays as Flash, according to a lot of information I have seen from friends. I don't care if Ezra has a good performance. Don't keep him after this. All that's been confirmed is that they are still talking about what they're going to do after the movie. Screwball's peanut butter whiskey. Sweet with a hint of heat. That sounds interesting. I'll have to check that out. It's not whining. I'm watering. God, I'm so far behind, man. Later, Jamie. See you next time. As well, thanks for stopping in. Poor Warren Christie never got to play Batman. He was never going to get to play Batman. Like, don't get your expectations up, because, like, he would have never donned the suit. He would have been Bruce Wayne, but he would have never put the suit on in the show. You think the Blade could be rated R too? It could be cool if they wanted to. If they want to make Deadpool the first rated R one, they could just switch Deadpool and Blade's release dates. I do think Blade should be rated R, but we'll see what they do with it, man. Drinking Kool-Aid, so I can't say anything. Fruit punch for the win. Hey, you can never really go wrong with Kool-Aid, man. My headphones are turned up max because I can't hear you over my PC trying to run Survivor. Oh, the pain, dude. I ended up just rebuying the game on PlayStation while they figure out this PC shit. So I'll be playing... Part 1 is me playing it on PC. But my... Part 2 onward will probably be on my PS5 unless they patch it. I like a grounded racing movie saga that sounds cool, but Fast 5 and Up have been batshit crazy fun. I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you there, man. Love seeing Bloodwork again, man. He's so good. Dude, I love seeing... I know, I guess he's been in the scene for a long time. Obviously, a lot of these actors have been, but I hadn't seen anything with Sindel Ramamurthy in it until he was Bloodwork. And I just love the way that he carries himself. And then seeing him pop up on Doom Patrol, and then him playing a very Bloodwork-like character in Legends of Vox Machina was also really fun. Because again, when I did my reactions to that episode, I could not help make the comparisons, which was funny because I think he was cast for that role because of his work on The Flash's blood work. Because when I was listening to the Q&A that Critical Role did and talking about that episode, Travis Willingham talked about how it was a very similar to his character on The Flash. And I was like, I'm not insane for thinking that. And I'm just glad. He's great. He's a great actor I want to keep my eye on, though. What's up, Ragu? Hope you're well. Whining too and having a bank holiday here. So long weekend. No work Monday. Hell yeah, man. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. Have some fun. Thanks for stopping in, man. Are they ever going to save people? Are they ever going to save the people from John Henry's Earth? I don't think he's got an Earth to go back to. I think the Earth is gone. I don't think there's anything to save. I think that's why we haven't gone back. Honestly, to be sure, we don't even know that that Earth even exists. If Oliver even recreated that Earth, but I don't know. I doubt we'll ever see that Earth again. Like, actually go there. I would like Sister to come back, especially because Caitlyn's dead. Dude, none of them are even addressing that. But yeah, that would be a good little moment. Did I see the promo for Flash 910? I have not. I think it's misdirect with Rocket to fool people that he's dying. I mean, people are dying, so I don't know. I imagine most... I think we're going to get more than one body count in this movie, man. But who knows? But Drax is 100% dead, I would say. You could probably work a way to keep Rocket around, but Drax is 1000% dead, I think. Bloodwork was honestly the best non-speedster villain. I have to agree. I agree. Drax is definitely dead. Rocket most likely because they're going to focus more on him with his backstory. Like, it seems all centered around Rocket, and why do that if you're not going to, like, scrap it, especially since none of these characters are going to see each other again. We know Dave Bautista's done with this character and done with the MCU, so I expect his character to die or get killed off in this movie as well, but who knows? We could just leave him alive and we never see him again. Love wine, currently drinking a rosé. I just have to get more familiar with what certain names I associate with certain tastes. Part 1. I really hope this is just rumor. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not even going to get into it. I would bet money Rocket doesn't die. Not going to lie. Up to 1,300% dead is understandable, but 2,000 is just overkill. Thank you, Mars Falcon. Always knowing where to draw the line and call me out when I'm getting a little too crazy. Love how Bloodwork is just a normal human now. I didn't expect him to get a definite conclusion. And I like how they just kind of wrapped it up in one episode. It was nice and concisely handled. But it was kind of goofy when they did the whole little exchange. It was like, but HLH will come back. And I was like, took care of that too. Benefits of being the Spectre. God, it was goofy. I loved it though. Happy Saturday, Sean. Wait, weekend, Sean. I make up words, guys. I'm here to make shit up. What's up, Heather? Welcome. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Well, it's a comic book show. They could always find a way to make him Bloodwork again, as they could for sure. But if the show would continue, maybe, but we'll see. I doubt it now that we won't be continuing the show, though. I think trailers just make it seem like Rocket's in, but he has a girlfriend in this one, so probably we'll just go with her in the movie and near the end. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll all see soon. Bloodwork is the Flash's parasite. Thinker is Flash's brainiac. Kinda. If you can get eaten by a Demogorgon off screen, you can survive any off-screen kill. What the Kingpin come back? I mean, we already know the Kingpin's coming back. We already know he's back. He's in Born Again. He's one of the main characters. Thinker is so boring in The Flash. I liked Thinker. I liked Thinker a lot. The problem was that the writers wrote him too powerful, so the resolution was boring as fuck and made no sense. They wrote themselves into a corner because they made him way too powerful to take down, so the way they took him down was just anticlimactic. What's up, Cody? Guten Tag. I think Peter might die. Adam Warlock will become a Guardian, and Mantis will become the new Star-Lord. Gamora becomes a pirate, Rocket lives with his friends, and Nebula becomes a new police. Isn't it possible? It's all a possibility. It's all a possibility. I'd actually love to see a season where Superman fights Flash villains like Dr. Alchemy, and Flash fights Superman villains like Brainiac and Parasite. That would be kind of crazy. Did I get spoiled for episode 13? I think you might have come in after we talked about some of this stuff, but I did, like, I know all the villains that are coming for the remainder part of this season. I know who's involved. I know what's coming. I don't know the story around all of it. I don't know the machinations. I don't know what happens, but I know who we're going to see in these last 4 episodes. When did it become Eric Wallace's job to conclude a series that was abruptly canceled? Yeah. Like I said, all I would expect is just a throwaway line. Just by having Batwoman show up writes off that last little tease at the end of her season. Just fine enough for me. Like with Legends, like, I know he wanted to do it, but yeah, it's really not at the end of the day, but I do think as a courtesy to the universe and to their fellow shows as the last leg of this universe, that they should pay homage to the universe, and I think they did that quite well in this last episode. But I would like at least just a throwaway line that the Legends just got away. I don't need to see a Legend, I don't need a guest star, I don't need an entire episode dedicated to the Legends. Just tell me in the background they got away. That's it. That's all I want. It's always great to watch your streams. Well, thank you, Neutrino. It's great having you here. Not gonna lie, I couldn't stand Legends last couple of episodes. I like the last season of Legends way more than I did this season before it, but I had been kind of burnt out on Legends for a long time by this point. Had it not been coming to an end, I probably, if the last season wasn't going to be, if I didn't sense that it was going to be coming to an end, I probably wasn't, or that I was already so far along into it, I probably wasn't going to cover it, but I ended up doing it anyway, just because my brain do brain things. Could also be Mantis, since they confirmed she was his sister, and he obviously can't have his relatives alive. I mean, that could just be further cementing that he's probably going to die, then maybe. I don't know. Well, I watched Stargate SG-1. Possibly. When? Maybe. Don't know. Sean and I couldn't stand Legends the last couple of seasons. Same. Thought Joe was gone. I'm pretty sure he's gone. Well, all we knew going into the season that he was only in like a small number of episodes because he's mainlining on another show. So maybe we just thought he was gone and he just had like an episode left still. I don't know. If the actors were available, they would have been in episode 9. I mean, possibly. I also don't dig the new Flash suit. It looks gross and plastic, but to each their own. Like for the movie, I think it looks good in the posters, but and in motion. But like in just the still shots, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it definitely could be better, but I don't know. I still like it more than the armor-plated suit from that he first showed up in. I love Connor as Lex. I've said my piece on it. I've seen my piece on it. Jokes are back. No more jokes. Savitar would have been better if fleshed out and not hurting the lead. Man, Red Death was crap. It was awful. Yes, it was. That was so disappointing. Such a cool villain. So wasted. Unpopular opinion. I don't like the new episode of Superman and Lois, except the Jordan stuff. They need to stop with the parents can't discipline kids. Clark didn't even intend to hurt Jordan. I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure if I'm reading this right or what, but I don't know. I like the episode, but I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Okay, yeah, Godspeed sounds like energy drink to me. I would buy it. I would get it if we had some Godspeed energy drinks. Next episode of Superman and Lois, Mateo meets John Henry Irons. I'm so looking forward to it, and the awkwardness. But we're going to have some one-on-one time with Chrissy and Sarah. Oh God, and more awkwardness? Oh Lord, that's gonna be... Dude, that's gonna be hard to watch. I can't wait. Let's hope Jonathan gets his powers in season 4, if there's a season 4. We'll have to wait and see for that. God, I mean, if they can give a long-awaited Cobalt solidly for 4 episodes, I'll be fine. Hope so. Hope it's good. Every episode is a repeat. Lois isn't taking cancer seriously, they argue. Hug. Clark isn't taking cancer seriously, they argue. Then hug. The end. I mean, did you watch season 1? They have a formula. They've done it for the last 2 seasons. But the thing is, like, what they're talking about. You have to have these conversations, especially if you're going to introduce a storyline like this. It's not the same argument. It's not the same conversation every time. It's a different natural progression of this. And this is close to me because I've been in this boat. I've been in the family who's got somebody who you don't know is going to come out the other side because of this cancer. And I've talked about this in my reactions as well. My best friend, his mom didn't. She got hit hard and it was rough. So it might seem like a repeat. I don't to anybody else outside of this, but it is real. It is the way they're handling this step and the way that they're naturally going through these stages together, because it's not just like a simple one and done. We're doing this thing and now it's over. It's an entire ride. It's an entire roller coaster of feeling and emotions and things you have to tackle as you don't know what the fuck is happening. And they're doing it. Everything with the cancer storyline of this season so far is chef's kiss, beautifully fucking written. At least from my standpoint. Like, if you've been in that seat at all, like, I think they are respectively really diving into that and doing it in a very real way and treating it like the serious kind of thing that it is. It is a serious storyline. A lot of people just kind of play it off, and a lot of shows just kind of play it off. It's just a one-off kind of thing. It's just whatever, fuck it, whatever. Comic books, we don't need to take everything seriously. But they are. So if it's not working for you, that's fine. But like, that's a touchy subject to bring up here about it, because they're doing it real good. If you ask me, man, like, it hurts almost any time it comes up. Oh, God damn it, man. Oh, fuck. Anyway, sorry. I'm just glad that they finally acknowledged the multiverse again. Me too. I'm glad that they got to know that it was there and they got to know the fruits of Oliver's sacrifice a little bit more intimately. The fact that Titans got to touch on the multiverse that Arrow created first was a little weird, but it is what it is. I would have loved if that, because of the timing of those episodes, they easily could have tied them all together. They got to film some stuff with Breck, even though I know that they don't film in the same locations. But it would have been cool if there was at least some kind of coordination that maybe have happened, that maybe reaching a little bit too far. But like, I don't know. I like, it would have been fun, cool to have those interconnect a little bit. But it's cool that we got 2 multiverse episodes back to back in 2 different DC shows. Anyway, I'm afraid for the calendar. The days are numbered. Oh, God damn it. I accidentally read one of your jokes. Stargate was cool. I don't like that you treat Clark like a monster because he's an optimist. Well, I mean, he's realistically not doing the right thing. Again, God, I'm gonna... He is in the wrong in how he's handling it. There's optimism, there's positivity, but there's a point where that becomes unhelpful, unuseful, and detrimental to the people around you. And that's what he was doing. Like, that was avoiding the problem. That wasn't, at a point, it was no longer optimism. It was literally avoiding the problem. Like, he's pretending nothing, there is no negative outcome to this. Like, that's not even an opinion. I'm sorry. Like, this might get a little hot take even here, but like, you're wrong. I'm sorry. If you think that is not if you don't side with the show and the way that was portrayed, you're wrong. Like, it's not even an opinion. You're just wrong. Because, I'm sorry. That's one of the few times where I might be like, I might draw a line on something, and again, maybe I'm coming from this from my own little hot seat, but like, what Clark was doing in that episode was wrong. It's just, there's no other side to that. I was a little sad when we saw Jesse Quick. I was a little sad when we saw Jesse Quick in the episode. Yeah, me too. Me too. Much better idea. I didn't watch Batwoman because Homegirl can't act. Jeez, I wanted Iris to have a black friend, but not like that. I thought Javicia did a pretty decent job. I like still the first season of Batwoman is my favorite season, though I think the third season of Batwoman is the best season. If we're talking objectively with the writing, performances, the fluidity of the storyline and whatnot, but I still prefer the first season because that was where we started off as, and then the show just kind of became something else altogether. But yeah, I feel you there. But man, what this season has been doing, despite all the other weird stuff they've been doing with the stories, is they fucking finally has been giving Iris some love and letting some of that show, you know, with the way she dresses, carries herself, have a little bit more of her actual spirit carry into the character, because that's also been a very strong and vocal critique on the way that, like, the writers have been handling her character for years and ignoring a certain aspect of her reality. And I like that they've kind of finally done that. It's sad that it's the last season that they finally figured some of this shit out, and it's sad that it took as long as it did for them to figure out how to write her character a little bit more three-dimensionally. But damn, yeah, I'm right there with you, and I would have liked to have seen more of that. You know, I did like the little bit with Nia and stuff, but a lot of that stuff still feels a little ham-fisted in. I do miss Jesse and Harry. They were pretty valuable members to the team in seasons 2 and 3. How powerful would a Superman just starting out be compared to an older Superman? Older Superman would be way more powerful. For me, Superman and Lois is hitting way too close to home, as it's the 2-year anniversary of my grandmother's death. So this is just really depressing for her. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, and I sympathize wholeheartedly. Let's see. Still worried. How old could Superman get? Like, what's his lifespan? Well, I mean, we know at most he's in the comics he's lived for a millennium, so like 1,000 years into the future. He was still around in one iteration, so I don't know. Who knows what his cap is? Season 6 of Supergirl was pure trash, you agree? I enjoyed it way more than Season 5. It wasn't great, but it was a lot better than that, and I liked the character work. It was like, the whole season, though, felt like very Power Rangers-y. I like the characters in Supergirl, but they just never can write around them very well, but I do like the actors. I enjoyed Season 6 a lot more than Season 5, but it wasn't the best, but by that point, I was just not expecting anything great out of it. It was our favorite because of how many people he killed. I mean, he did do some damage. Sim sounds like an energy drink too. That is also, technically they all do. You could probably make a whole speedster line of energy drinks. I'm personally bitter that they didn't bring Roy in the Titans, since he's one of my favorites, and they've also name dropped him multiple times and he's never shown up. Like, he's a freaking founder, one of the Fab Five. Why did I put an R in there? Wasted opportunity, in my opinion. Yeah, especially as much as he's been referenced, it's kind of odd to me that they never cast a Roy. I'm right there with you on that one. Ginger Zod should have been the villain of Supergirl Season 6. Zod had already been, I mean, I guess you could bring Zod back. Zod had already been addressed in that universe. So I don't know if that would have worked, but Would you rather have the Flash's powers or Superman's? Flash. All day, every day. Just give me Flash's powers. I believe this came in when I said I talked about the Fifth Element stuff. Please watch a video on YouTube called Superhero Bowl. I think I've seen that. It sounds familiar. I have to double check it a little bit later. Over here, Stargate SG-1 used to be shown every day at 6 p.m. I got through those seasons pretty quick without even realizing it. It was a great show. This was before we could just stream it. Oh yeah, man. I gotta stop worrying about me and Rise of Robot Crew. Oh, was you talking about one of your scripts? Don't know what that was referring to otherwise. I don't know if you know this, but I heard that, whoop. To this day, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is still my favorite movie, and I'm glad that other Spider-Man movies were added to Disney+. Yeah, I mean, they will be eventually, like even No Way Home will be eventually. It's just because of the deal with distribution from Sony, they have to wait like a year or two before they can post them outside of other vendors. I think Grant should have taken Ezra's place, or at least I'd shown up in the movie. I agree with both of those points after everything that had happened. We got Superhero Bowl is awesome, but it's a trilogy, so after Superhero, he needs to watch Villains and Super Showdown Bowl. Seems like a lot of work. I'm glad I made it animated. I thought you were talking about that. I would have loved a Jay Garrick origin story, early days, two-parter interlude. I don't know how you would do that, though. Who do you think Nick Cage could play in the MCU or DCU? I don't know. Mephisto? MCU? I think he could be an interesting Mephisto. DCU? I fucking don't know, man. Hugo Strange? Could be interesting. Wow, that would be incredibly insulting and disrespectful if they choose Cage, remembered thanks to that picture, over Grant, who's been in The Flash for 9 freaking years. The hell? True Zoom was the best villain, best arc of a villain. His goals were perfect because I'm tired of these empathetic villains. Same, actually. I can tell Omni by the tears. Yes. Aw. Yeah, we're talking about Oliver and all that. If I ever got season 9, my main villain would have been the Count from season 1. Just have him bring him back with like a heavy weight. My master plan to kill the Spectre, go back in time and save Robert Queen. I mean, there would still be a Spectre, because Jim Kerrigan would still be the Spectre. He wouldn't have passed it on to Oliver, but I know what you're saying. There's still Transformers movies? Yes. I mean, they've been rebooted. It's not the same line. Bumblebee reset everything. So the Michael Bay films are not included in what is coming out now. So technically right now in this continuity, once the new movie comes out, there will have only been 2 Transformers movies. But they are still making them. You think they will release the behind the scenes to The Flash? I'm still going to see the movie, but I heard someone was so mean. Was a meanie behind the scenes, and that raises questions for me. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, but maybe, probably not. Don't know. Yes, Christian, they're going to be a prequel reboot. I think Andy Muschietti meant archival footage was cut. As I heard, most are archival footage, and majority are CGI recreations. Christopher Reeves, Adam West, George Clooney, Nick Cage, Linda Carter was cut too. Right. That's fine, but you have to have Grant. I don't care. You have to have Grant. I don't even care if it's not him showing up. You just show me a picture of Grant. They're going to give Jonathan powers. They're never going to give Jonathan powers. I hope they don't. One makes sense if it's canon because Optimus gets to Earth for the first time in Transformers 1, but I have no idea if this stuff is canon. This new movie is only canon to Bumblebee, which is a reboot. Yeah, just post a picture of Grant halfway through. Yeah. I'm always saying it's the best season when it first started, but I rewatched season 1 last week, and season 3 doesn't even come close. Season 3 has too much Lois drama. Season 1 is excited. Why is that a negative? I don't understand how that's a negative. Yeah, these are some hot takes, man. I don't understand where you're coming from. It's a little off-putting. I haven't watched Superman and Lois. The Flash is enough problematic watching. Superman and Lois is actually good. Like, it's almost Netflix Daredevil's levels of good at times. Like, it's like a happy medium between the two. Like, season 1 is really good. Like, season 2 is where it starts to get a little wonky a little bit. But season 1's really fucking good, and season 3 so far is really good. It's, out of anything DC TV has done, it's the best written show that they've made, that has been to broadcast, at least. I would argue Doom Patrol might still be overall better, but and I'm not counting Watchmen, but like if we're talking like the capes and cows area, Superman and Lois is really fucking good. Like its writing puts the Flash to shame at times. Anyways, I have to go. See you next time. Maybe. Depends on my schedule. Well, take care of yourself, man. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping in all the same. Superman and Lois, the John the original, John the Hot Topic exclusive, John the remix. All 3 versions of John have been interesting for different reasons. I'm happy with the one that we've got now. I love the subtitles for all of our different Johns. Man, I'm 100% sure Grant is pulling an Andrew Garfield trick on us. I'm 100% sure the director and Grant, both of them, are taking classes from Andrew to learn how to lie to the fans and act dumb. But the thing is, people have seen the movie now. Like, there's like hundreds of people that have seen the film now. So I don't know why else you would announce that the day after, like, the first public audience got to see the movie, and it just be a lie. Because somebody can just leak that information out on Reddit and confirm it. So I don't know. That's, if nobody had seen the film yet, I might go along with that. But yeah, I don't know. The only reason I'm worried is because I play Mikey Murphy in The Rise and let the role of Sasha Kaye to play Elektra, and then I want to make the show one day. Cool. High ambitions. My issue with Hollywood is they seem to have rehash and continue to reboot things instead of venture into plenty of stories untold. It's a mixed bag, because, like, I think at the end of the day, I'm right there with you. Like, you know, it was like, why are we doing this again? Why are we doing this again? Why are we doing this again? But, like, it makes money at the end of the day, and it's infuriating that it does, because there are some great stories to be told, but at the end of the day, no one fucking shows up for new stories half the time. So it just sucks. Waste of money and infuriating. I don't think so. People who did see the film confirm Grant is nowhere in the movie. That's why they're openly talking about it. See, that's what I was saying. Elektra is the main villain, the robot crew, most likely Mikey. 6A, if you got important life stuff, yeah, that's the 6C. But I second that. For me personally, they've made Lois's character very unlikable. How? Like, she didn't appreciate the kids, made breakfast for her. She keeps putting her life in danger, not listening to Clark. If you find that unlikable, I hope nobody in your family ends up with cancer and that they're not anywhere close to you. And they don't have any ambitions of their own in their own life. Jesus Christ. I don't want Lois to be the only one in the 4 without powers. Cancer storyline can pay off, only work for me if the show actually killed Lois. They should give it to a character we know who wouldn't have been sure if they were dying or surviving. I mean, she could pull through with the treatment. We don't know how they're going to get through it, but that doesn't invalidate the story if the character survives. Because otherwise... Oh, this one's making me mad. This one's making me mad. I'm sorry. Because that's like, okay, so if this story was about, let's say, my mom, would that fight be pointless because she survived? Fuck off with that. I'm sorry. I might have to just ignore you for the rest of the stream, man. I'm gonna get mad. The use of music in the Mario movie is stellar. Yes, it was. It actually really was. The score music was really good. But the I don't think the use of some of the contemporary songs was all handled all that well, but yeah. The actual remixes of musics from the game was really good, and the general score was really good, I would say. More stuff about your script here. Hell yeah. Season 1, Superman and Jordan started trading with their new powers, and Jonathan felt powerless, but learned how to get by without powers. I like that story, and I want to keep it that way. I agree with that. Ollie Keown should definitely date because they both love to meditate. That would be an interesting pairing. That Bowser song, though, agreed. I prefer John without powers. He can still... I prefer John without powers. He can still help without powers like Lois does, helping Sophie joining the fire station. I just hope that they don't get him and Sarah together. I was getting vibes. I was worried they were going to do that in season 1. Oh, yeah. Anyway. I was getting that in season 1 when they stopped away because I was like, oh god, don't love triangle this. And then they didn't. So I'd be very off-put if they went back to that here then. Chad L. Coleman is the new king. He was better than Majors for me. Jonathan Majors doesn't scare me. I don't think Chad L. Coleman really gives off that kind of a vibe anymore, but if stuff about Jonathan Majors is true, I mean, that does make him kind of more scary. Not to put light on that, but sometimes you just got to put a little positive spin on stuff. Even my character Sam Locks, aka the Blue Knight, doesn't die. When he does, sometimes he's trapped in something else. Timeline changes. Cool. You seen Creed 3? Yeah, have you seen Creed 3? Yeah, dude. I wait to see if Jonathan is actually guilty, i.e. Rick and Morty guy. My brain, I'm fried. Oh, Majors. I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what is little Johnny afraid of? I thought you were talking about Jonathan. I'm getting people mixed up and getting things mixed up in my head. The things we're all talking about. I thought you were talking about Jonathan and Superman and Lois. I was like, what the fuck did you do? But yeah, we gotta hold out. We gotta wait, because that was a whole other thing. Because like what happened with him, you know, people are way too early to jump on the gun. We need to go through the processes, man. Like, it's hard to say, and I've said this before. While you always have to treat these things with a serious mind. People also, I think, tend to forget too that there also needs to be a benefit of the doubt, because you also have to consider that people are with these celebrities. If they know they can sway the public, if they know they can swing a situation, if their relationship goes south with this person who's rich and famous, and now they don't have access to that cut, there are people, it's documented, it's happened hundreds of thousands of times. Bad faith arguments come out just because they want a taste of that money. They don't want to go back to what they were at before. So when it comes to actors and famous people, I feel like you always have to have, and maybe it's unfair in some situations and in a lot of situations, because sometimes it's just difficult or impossible to prove your side of it. But at the same time, you got to wonder if they're in for it for their own appeal, for their own status, or whether it be money, whether it be the attention, or anything about that. Like if something falls through in the relationship, something like that, it's hard to tell if there's actually like ill feelings behind it. But in a lot of cases, as we know in Hollywood, a lot of people are pretty fucking shitty too. So like, it's just like, I try not to get too emotionally wrapped into anything from an outsider who has none of the information at my disposal, only what's reported, and what's reported is what's going to get people clicks. You know, most people don't even read into the articles, they just read the headlines. So like, it's just like everybody just reacts with their gut and takes the reported truth as the truth itself and just runs amok. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous, because, you know, very much so he could be in a bad faith position, but just as much the person making the claims could be as well. We don't know. So it's not up to us to decide this. So I always feel iffy about giving my opinion on how I feel about certain situations, because at the end of the day, I don't fucking know. And in most cases, unfortunately, most people won't ever fucking know. Honestly, it's not really even our business. But I will say, those text messages, those text messages that he released from her, honestly, they didn't give good vibes. They didn't read in a way that I think helped his case, in the way that I think he thought it did. That's the only opinion that I'll give. Whether that's true or not is not up for us to decide. But yeah, it is what it is. And like Christina goes on to say, like, unfortunately, court of public opinion means far more than the truth. That's the same too, like for people who have been convicted of crimes, but then it's later been proven that they were innocent. People in the public eye, like even like trying to get a job even after the fact, like it's still next to impossible, because nobody can they've cemented that opinion in their head. So like when they see you out and about and whatever, like that's what they think about, regardless. Even if it's like a matter of a fact that they were innocent and it was just a mistrial, or something went wrong, or they didn't have proper evidence at the time, people are always going to remember the guilty verdict and not the innocent one. They're always going to be wary of you. I think Scream did a really good play on that, when the whole Cotton Weary storyline, with how that played out. There was still always a fear about him being around, even though everybody knew he didn't do it and that he was also a victim, but they still kind of treated him with like this 10-foot pole to keep him out of every situation. So like you always, it sucks. No matter what, it's a shitty situation to end up in, no matter what. Because even if you're in it, if you're guilty, hopefully you get punished for it, and then that's going to be a shitty situation for you, regardless. Otherwise, even if you're innocent, it's a shitty situation because half the people aren't going to even believe it. Anyway, we got into real talk there for a hot minute. Moving on. Why Lana mad when she is the one who wanted the divorce, let Kyle live his life? Because he wasn't watching his daughter when he was supposed to be watching his daughter, and his daughter was missing, and he was out with his girlfriend instead of with his daughter, whom he was supposed to be watching? Cancel culture is guilty before trial. I want to see the trial. Anyone can make accusations. Exactly. Anything less than 2 to 3 self-contained big-budget movies would not do injustice, in my opinion. Would do injustice justice, in my opinion. I agree. I agree with that. You can get canceled for anything now these days. Well, I wouldn't say anything, but it's very easy. Jack Coleman needs more work, period. Underrated actor. I can agree with that. Can't just be playing villains with CW shows. We need this guy in Marvel and DC. I'm all for more people getting work, man. Trump was accused of Mike dying a child, and he became president, not political with that statement. Just highlights defamation cases, doesn't equate guilt, and we need a culture to remember it. Exactly. I would love to see Mr. Fear in Daredevil Born Again. He's basically Daredevil Scarecrow. That could be cool. Scott is so delicious. Damn! We'll never see my chats. Well, guess what? I did. Omni is always behind. How far behind am I now? Oh my lord, I'm almost an hour behind. If Transformers producers actually committed to a whole movie on Cybertron, it would probably make more than Avatar. Nah, I really, really, really would doubt that. Yeah, I really don't think it would. And I honestly wouldn't have thought Avatar 2 would have made as much money as it does, but I do not think if they did this, it would get them even as much as that. Batman 2, October 2025. Can't wait for that. Allegra would be better if she wasn't only about Chuck, who was by far is the weakest link. I like Chuck, but Allegra, they just can't figure out what to do with her. They tried to put her in The Citizen with Iris, and those storylines, the one storyline where she was struggling to have authority as a boss, as a peer who's been kind of upgraded, like, I like that because I could relate to that. I've been in that position, and I like that episode. That was one episode, though. The stuff with her cousin was stupid as fuck. And the stuff with Nash felt so forced. And then now it's just her and only storyline is this crush with Chuck. And it's just like, it's just weak. Question out of left field to the other conversation. Who do you think would be the most perfectly casted character? Who do you think was the most perfectly casted character in the Lord of the Rings movies? Ian McKellen as Gandalf. I think you probably could have switched out damn near anybody else in those films. But Ian McKellen as Gandalf was just perfect. It's Morbin time. A Jurassic World Fast and Furious crossover? Would the cars just stop if Owen gave them the hand? You never know. Cars do have motion tracking these days. I'm sure it probably just been asked and addressed already, but are you planning on streaming Jedi Survivor at all? Hey, check your notifications. Part 1 came out at noon today. As far as streaming, no. I don't think I can stream it still. But I am recording my playthrough. And now, basically answered my question. Oh, haha. Blade being rated R would benefit him a lot, the movie like Wolverine, when watching Logan. I agree. I think Blade and its setting and its narrative and vampires, just do it rated R. It's kind of gotta be. We are missing Fast and Furious and Transformers crossover. Actually, somebody mentioned that earlier as well. Cinder Amberworthy was in Heroes back in the day, and he was so pretty. Dude, he's a handsome fucker, dude. He's just got this charisma that, dare I say, oozes just right out of him. I'd only seen like 2 or 3 episodes of Heroes. I don't recall if I ever saw any of the ones that he was in, though. I need to eventually go back and watch those. Black Suit Superman should be in-game villain of Superman and Lois. Full circle moment. I think that could be interesting. That could be an interesting way they could do it. Also, the guy who played Bloodwork was on Never Have I Ever on Netflix, and he is not in that much. I'm excited for Invincible Season 2. I heard it's going to be good. I mean, if it's anything like the first season, yeah, I'm sure it will be. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Invincible Season 2, man. That show just came out of nowhere and was so good. Bloodwork was the best non-speedster villain. Agree. Bloodwork is cool. If Mantis or Nebula dies and Rocket or Drax makes it, okay, I will be shocked as hell. I've seen the trailer for Twisted Metal. It was an old video game back in the day. The new movie has Anthony Mackie in it, and I can't help but think that it's a Death Race remake. I saw the teaser, if you can even call it that. I watched it, because again, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do a reaction to it. Because it's only like a couple seconds, and it was barely even anything worth reacting to. God damn, man. I played all of the I've played every Twisted Metal game except for the reboot that was only online and was only multiplayer and had none of the original characters in it. I've played all of them up to Twisted Metal Black. So going into this, I don't know. It being a series, I'm kind of concerned about because I don't think Twisted Metal has enough story to milk for a series unless you did like an episode about each character. Because they're not very fleshed out. There's not a lot to really do there. And it's this cross-country, he's got to deliver something across the country as he's doing this road trip, and across this barren wasteland, he's just encountering all these different rogue drivers. It seems like a bit of a stretch rather than just adapting the story from the games. And you could have just made a movie. So Twisted Metal is one of those games where you could have just picked a character, made them your focal point, and just did a movie about them doing the Twisted Metal competition and meeting Calypso, getting their wish, and having their fucked up ending. I think that would have been the best way to go. I don't know how the fuck you make a series out of it, but we'll see. Apparently he's John Doe and he'll be driving Outlaw? I think John Doe's Outlaw's driver. But Sweet Tooth looks good, though Will Arnett as the voice, I need to hear it more. The laugh didn't really sell it for me. The laugh didn't sell it for me at all. But Sweet Tooth looks great. The ice cream truck looks great, but we'll see. But I do get the Death Race vibes. I was literally just looking this up yesterday. Hold on. Where are you? Roadkill, sorry. John Doe drives Roadkill, which makes way more sense. Agent Stone. Agent Stone is where you at? Outlaw. Yeah, Agent Stone's Outlaw. At least in Black, it was Outlaw. I mean, what makes you think the otter is Rocka's girlfriend? Was that revealed in the trailer? I don't know. I got nothing. Imagine if we got an Arrowverse and the boys crossover. I would not like that. I love Wally's character. Wish we had more of him in the show. Just grew out of the role. That's very true. Me too. I like the Thinker's origins. Me too. What's the best rivalry in the Arrowverse? Who really has a rivalry? I can't think of anybody who I would technically classify as having a rivalry by definition. I don't know. I really don't know. What's a band that you love but no one ever talks about? Like they're your own little secret. Mine's a band called Hillug, which means healing in German. Highly recommend if you love Norse shit. I'd have to check it out. I mean, they're kind of mainstreamy, but I never hear people talk about them. Skillet. A little bigger, but yeah. Arrow and Prometheus or Arrow and Slade? Arrow and Prometheus. Don't remember the season 4 finale. As a Flash fan, the lack of more Wally makes me sad because he deserved better, and now he just meditates. I mean, it's hard to... I mean, I can't fault the writers too much for that because it was Keenan's desire to leave the show. So, I don't know. It sucks either way, but, I mean, I don't know what else you do with a character you don't want to recast, but also the actor doesn't want to come back. Evening, Governor. I tried. That was my attempt. Welcome, Rebecca. What if the Legion... Sounds like something was literally just running around in my attic. Something was thudding above my head. What if the Legion of Doom was used as a crossover thing instead of the season thing? They could have probably used more characters. That would have been way cooler, to be honest, but I still like what they did. Yes, the Thinker was fine, and then he went OP. And then he didn't know what to do. That sounded a little too heavy for rats. Unless the rats got real fat. I still don't know how a raccoon would get up there, but you never know. It could be the raccoons. They could have finally figured out how to get in the house. I might seem negative today, but the past few days have been raining. My mom has been bedridden for 3 days now. We are a month away from the anniversary. Combined with the economic inflation, it's hard. I definitely get that. It's totally okay, Adit. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. And, you know, you got that anniversary you mentioned coming up. I just take care of yourself. Try to be as positive as you can. And, yeah, man, take it easy. We're here for you. I'm the only one who loved Damien Dark. Love that Damien Dark killed Laurel. I always loved that stakes mattered on Arrow. I mean, I didn't love it. It didn't build up to it very well, and they didn't really utilize it all that well. I mean, I like stakes, but it just seemed like they were bored, and then it undid it almost immediately with her doppelganger. So I don't know. It was a little weird. We are allowed to be negative creatures from you're allowed to be negative creatures from YK. Why am I dumb? From time to time. That's what I'm gonna say. Legends filled its cast with original characters like Chester's, Allegra's, and Cecile's. I stopped watching after season 3. I mean, at best, like I don't remember an original character in season 3. But they did have like one. It was only like 1 or 2 ever. It was never like a bunch of them. Like in the last one, the only original character was Spooner. Everybody else was in the comics. So I don't know about that one. Me personally, I don't like Chester that much. He's another nice, smart guy who makes jokes. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I like him enough. He's no Cisco, but I like him enough. That's fine, Omni. It's not a whole episode arc. God, man, that's just how far behind I am. Because I was talking about when we were talking about if Eric Wallace should be obligated to wrap up Legends of Tomorrow. Jesus Christ, I'm so behind. Chester needs some darkness and tragedy in his life to become a serious character. We explored that already. I'm crossing my fingers that we get a stinger at the end of this finale of Oliver appearing to the Legends in the Time Police prison, saying, "Sarah, I owe you one," and then it cuts to black. That could have been fun. I don't know. I don't know if I needed that, but that could have been fun. What's up, Omni? Finally got to see Scream 6. I thought it was pretty good. Where would you rank it among the other Scream movies from best to worst? For me, it's 2, 1, 4, 6, 5, 3. Currently. I think that it was different from what it was before, but that's kind of where it's at now. I haven't watched Legends since season 3. Those were solid seasons, then it fell off for me. It doesn't really get better. To be honest. Cisco lost Gypsy and his brother. He did. They managed to pull off Legends escaping the Gar Titans episode. What would have been cool. He's just in the red watching them, having no idea. Oh, that would have been cool. But people who watch Legends probably wouldn't be tuned into that show to see that too. That'd be funny though. What do you think about Chrissy and Sarah's dad getting together? I think it's cute. I think they're really cute together. I think everybody just needs to decide to move on. Though, like, Lana's kind of stuck in this weird little rut right now, which is understandable given everything going on. It's still frustrating to watch as a viewer. But, you know, I've talked about before, I like that we're showing a divorced couple not just magically fix things and get back together, that they are actually committing to staying separated, and the show is exploring that. I like that because most daytime television or primetime television wouldn't do that. I liked Legends seasons 1 through 3. They were good. Some were odd, but I didn't hate 7. Dude, season 6 really pissed me off. Sad face. That was when I was getting all ranty. Christina. There's a Cisco in the Arrowverse shows. A Cisco in all of the Arrowverse shows. Kinda. There's kind of that same character in each show. Speaking of Fountain Alley Stingers, the actress that plays Sarah Cushing said that they didn't know if it might get renewed or not, and they did the finale with lingering plot points. Great. Let's hope. Fuck, I hate that they did that, though, and that they knew it was a big old question mark. Hope the finale ends with John getting his powers. I hope not, man. I really hope not. Omni, Dark Season 1, now on to Season 2. What are your thoughts so far? Haven't got through all your reactions. It's insane. The level of like interconnectivity throughout this entire thing is just really, really, really well done. I still am so confused, but I'm having fun, man. We kind of did a little bit of a repeat in this last episode where people were like, gosh, he didn't analyze the first scene again, or he didn't look at this thing again. And I'm like, God damn it, guys. None of you did. Fuck you. None of you did this. The first time you watched it, none of you did this. Let me experience it for the first time like everybody else did. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Anyway, I don't care. I'm ignoring it, and I'm moving forward. I did look back at the scene anyway, because everybody's fucking screaming about it. And I do have a reviewed opinion about that, but I don't even know if I want to bring it up. I don't even know if I'm going to bring it up. Preach. Yeah, this is when I was getting all sad about the cancer debacle. Watched the Real Rejects react to Kung Fu Panda today, and it was entertaining seeing them love it. What are your thoughts on the trilogy? I've seen the first two. I don't know if I've seen the third. I can't remember if I've seen the third. I do really like the first one. I don't remember the second one. I know I've seen more than just the first one. I don't know which of the sequels I've actually seen, though. I assume it's the second. But I know I haven't seen all of the Kung Fu Pandas. But I really do like the first one. The first one's really good, and I honestly don't remember whichever sequel it was that I saw. I lost my mom to cancer, and Superman and Lois are handling it really well, and all the cast are doing really great work. Hell yeah, man. Very, very true, but man, he started off likable and became trash, so I don't understand why he easily could have been better. I don't remember what this was about. I don't remember. Oh, I failed to actually remember what this one was related to. Let's see. Didn't they want to do Kung Fu Panda 4? Apparently they are doing a Kung Fu Panda 4. Heard 3C films that Kung Fu 4's villain is going to be called Chameleon, and then he'll be able to take the shape of the previous 3 villains. I did hear that. I did read that somewhere as well. Would you rather hang out with Vigilante or Peacemaker? Probably Peacemaker, because I would probably be less afraid that Vigilante might just randomly kill me. Because he's just so... cuckoo. I'm back, had to break up. A group of girls fighting at the pool. Who does that? Probably a group of girls that fought at a pool. But, welcome back. Welcome back. Sean, his jokes ain't even funny. Don't act like... Oh, okay. We're talking about... That was about Chester, I think. Don't even act like I don't hang out with Nerdy Blackman. That ain't it. And Eric could have easily tweaked his character. I'm not clear why unless they didn't care. I don't know. I mean, I've never really had a problem with Chester as a character. He's one of the few new characters I still can tolerate without any kind of wincing through it all. Let's see. I hated Jordan's costume. It looks so goofy and ugly. Worst costume of all time. I do hope they get another one. Worst costume of all time. If you say you haven't seen the movie Max Steel. I haven't seen Max Steel, actually. But I have seen worse costumes. But if we're talking like CW costumes, like it's definitely the worst. Watched your Stargate reaction yesterday, so when you gonna put the TV show into your schedule? I don't know. Do not know. Like Supergirl Season 5 because Lex wins. Okay. Season 5 of Supergirl, and just for me, in my opinion, is one of the worst seasons of television I've ever watched. For anything. Like, the entire season was pointless. Nothing happened. And it was just, I found it so boring. Like, it's my least favorite Arrowverse season. Easy for me. Vigilante. Love the characters of Supergirl, but the show as a whole, yeah, is the weakest Arrowverse show for me. Like, it's, at the end of the day, while I love the characters more than I love some characters and other things, it's the weakest show out of the entire Arrowverse in my book. Like, it's ranked last for me. I'm all for inclusion, especially with me being LGBT, but it's starting to feel like Supergirl was trying way too hard to check boxes versus storytelling. Yes, I felt that way from the first season when it was on ABC. ABC's first season was almost impossible for me to watch at times because it was just so... There were some good episodes, don't get me wrong, but there were some where they openly were definitely trying to like do something like that, and it just was so cringy I couldn't handle it. Season 2, I straight up rage quit. I didn't continue CBS, not ABC. They all blur together to me, sorry. But season 2, I rage quit. I just stopped. I literally was mad at the show and didn't watch it again until I didn't start watching Supergirl again until the weeks leading into Crisis, because I didn't know what was going on. So I just sped watched through everything and caught up on it before Crisis. Season 1 through 5 I love so much, but when season 6 came, I just had to stop watching after episode 5. That's fair enough, man. But I'm surprised anybody like stuck around after season 5. Is it just me, or they wish they made a crossover of the Flash, Arrow, Kid Flash, and Arsenal team up seasons ago? Oh, that would have been awesome. Hey, Omni, have you ever seen or heard of the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series? At least one person mentions it every week. So yes, I have heard of it. I've not seen it. I feel for Lois more than ever this season, especially since I got diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's a few months ago. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I'm right there with you on that. I think the Lois storyline is the best thing that they're doing this season so far, especially with the way her and Clark are handling it. Absolutely, absolutely love it. He's still alive 85,000 years in the future and 1 million, and I vaguely remember him being still alive when the sun became a red giant. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hell yeah. Grant will always be my Flash. Period. Agreed. Right there with you. Even though my first live-action Flash was John Wesley Shipp, Grant's my Flash. Probably the hottest take, but Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois is the worst interpretation of Lois for me. Yeah, that is definitely a hot take. I like her way better than the one in Christopher Reeve's movies. I like her better than the one in Superman Returns. I like her better than Amy Adams. And I like Amy Adams, but her Lois is just basically a cardboard cutout named Lois. I never watched a whole lot of The Adventures of Superman and Lois, so I can't really speak on that one. She's a better actress than I think Erica Durant's, but I don't know. Comparing her to Smallville's Lois, I'm not too sure. But I think right now, I think she's my favorite Lois, and I think that's speaking to a lot because I really didn't like their characterization in Supergirl. This show has really turned me around on both those actors, because Tyler went from my least favorite Superman of all time to my favorite. Hot take, Spider-Man 3 is my favorite Spider-Man movie. The memes and dialogue are iconic, but I actually like the story Peter goes on and didn't mind the 3 villains and enjoyed the fights. Fair enough. I do enjoy Spider-Man 3. I saw it like 3 times in theaters when it came out. I really did like it. Over time, I do think it's kind of not held up as much as the other 2, but I still enjoy it. Transformers Rise of the Beast can hopefully be the Transformers movie everyone wanted. Hope so. I do hope so. Wait, SP, the Bumblebee movie is a different universe. Yes, it is. Just post a picture of Grant halfway through the movie. Miss the evil general from season 2 of Superman and Lois. We need General healing back in season 4. I wouldn't see the point of that. They could definitely work into the story and make it work, but I'm totally okay with that character. I didn't even remember that character existed until you mentioned them. Just put the Christ on the Infinite Earth scene as the end credit scene. Like, that works. Yeah, that could be. You'd have to figure out a way to retcon the suit that Ezra's wearing, though. Ezra and Grant meeting would be a great stinger to the movie. That would be cool. I don't like Lois. She's too feisty and argues a lot, so it's a negative for me. Felicity and Iris are better than Lois. Okay. I mean, everybody's got an opinion, but that's Lois Lane. Like, if you just don't like the character of Lois Lane, that's one thing. But, like, again, I mentioned this before. Some of these comments and these opinions lean a little bit into an ism territory for me, but I don't know. That seems like you've got something going on behind the scenes, man, that I just can't relate with. Christiana, Superman, and Lois. Oh, Christina, Superman, and Lois is really good storytelling. Characters, solid fight scenes, honestly. It's true. Still think that was the original reason they even shot that scene. I think so as well. Walter Amada requested that scene exist. Feisty women are also seen negatively. Mayhaps strong, independent women are off-putting to some. I hear it often. I do as well. Lois being feisty and arguing all the time is exactly how she's supposed to be. And half the time, guess what? She's fucking right. Sorry. Goddamn. I miss DVDs with special features and behind the scenes and blooper bits. Me too, actually. Me too. I do. Man, I miss that shit. We don't really get that anymore. Streaming and all this stuff really just ruins it all. And even most DVDs that come out now, if anything even gets a DVD or a hard copy, they're so bare bones anymore. I may need to hop on after the Flash ends. Definitely check it out. It also helps. It's not connected to any of the other shows. It's standalone. It's its own universe. It's not tied into everything, even though that was originally the plan. It's not. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. So you don't have to worry about being like lost behind or whatever. Feisty ladies. And even the supports were fun, especially John Turturro. I agree with that one. I don't like Felicity at all. She's controlling, manipulative, emotionally abusive to Oliver. She's just the worst in my opinion. I like a Felicity, personally. She never really got on my nerves. Yeah, but I can see how people could kind of get that way. Because, yeah, especially in the last few seasons, we're in the middle where they didn't know what to do with their relationship. It did get a little rocky, but never really took me out. How does it work with Crisis? Does the young Barry get memories, somehow become Barry we know today that knows everything before Crisis? No. No, that wouldn't be how that works. So... Actually, no. If we're talking about Crisis and the show, yes. Yes. That would be how that would work. Iris is strong and independent, but she doesn't debate with Barry every episode. I mean, if somebody's doing something wrong, do you not want to be called out on it? Do you just want to be have a yes man? Do you just want to have somebody there just like saying yes to every stupid thing you say? Or to push at you? And when Lois is wrong, she admits she's wrong, but she's allowed to like feel what she feels, just like Clark is. Like, just popping in to say my new mission is to get you to rewatch The Fifth Element. All right, we'll have to get it on our poll. Get it on our polls. Felicity is the 9th one for Oliver. He'll always be the Black Canary. Feel you there. You ever watch a trailer for something that everyone else seemed hyped for and you were just like, I mean, it looks all right, I guess. Yeah, I have. I couldn't tell you what it was just right off the cuff, but I definitely have felt that way about a number of trailers in my years. NMS Legends. It was goofy, but it was self-aware goofy, and it was one of my favorite shows on CW besides Superman and Lois. Yeah, it definitely carved out its niche there, and it knew what it was in the end, and it never tried to be anything more than that after a while. Yeah, Dinah is amazing in the comments. They should have killed Felicity instead of Laurel. Honestly, I just think from the whole beginning of it, I just don't think they set up Laurel to be a competent Black Canary. And I think that's one of the reasons why I never latched onto that character. I like Sarah's Black Canary as the original Black Canary. And when they forced Laurel into that role, even though in the comics, yes, she's supposed to be the Black Canary at this time with Oliver, it felt forced. It didn't feel right to me. And then, I don't know, the whole storyline with Laurel becoming Black Canary was rough. But Dinah Drake, I liked that. I liked her great as the Black Canary when she showed up. But it's just like the one that should have been the actual Black Canary was the weakest one in the show for me. Bubba. Gotta go, Omni. Have a good day. True, but the minute Iris does, man, even my 13-year-old was bashing her for daring to know anything about Star Labs. Right? Hell yeah, dude. Dang. Hot take, I hate the one true love trope in DC and Marvel. I can understand that. I can understand that. You want the bonk? I want to use the timeout button. God, we had two mods coming for you back then. I know you got bonked though. Somebody bonked you. I hope the CGI gets better for the final 4 episodes. Like I've said, I think that they've been holding back because they got a lower budget this season. Because they're going to need it. If anybody knows what's coming, they're going to need it. They're going to need that money. Otherwise, it's going to be horribly disappointing. I did it. Oh, bye. Yeah. Read the room. Read. Man, I thought I have hot takes on stuff. Right? This is taking a turn. People hated Felicity because she wasn't Black Canary, but it makes sense why Oliver wouldn't go for Laurel, Sarah, or Dinah. He needed someone who reminded him of what it means to be a normal guy. See, I think in the context of the show, it made sense. And I know as people who wanted a comic book accurate, relationship, a comic book accurate Green Arrow, you were never going to get that in the show, because the show is never trying to be that. That's also why I like the show more than comics, because I don't like comic book Green Arrow at all. So I'm totally okay with that. It just makes sense. Dude, it's kind of fucked up that you believe a storyline about illness only matters and means anything if the person dies. Right? The Lois stuff is fantastic. My cousin passed away due to the same cancer she had. They are handling it with class, and my favorite part about Superman and Lois Season 3, I'm starting to think that this isn't the real James Gunn. What gave it away? He was destined to be with Felicity from the moment she immediately put down what she was doing to help him. In his own words, she was the first person he saw as just a person and not a target. Yeah, I think that was the only right answer in the show. You could have made an argument for Sarah, but at that point, so much had already been changed. It had to be Felicity in the end, regardless. You could have made it work with anybody else, but I think that was the natural way to go with the story being told in the show. Correct me, the music from the games that they had in Mario is what I meant. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. I read that right. So that's what you meant. I assume that's what you meant, so just in case it wasn't, I wanted to clarify at the time. How hyped are you for the 60th specials of Doctor Who, and are you going to react to them? I can't wait for them season 14. Yes, I will be reacting to each of the David Tennant specials, and I'll probably react to series 14 to just see how Ncuti does. Because the set photos and stuff like that, I kind of understand. I kind of want to see what they do. It's interesting because my excitement for Doctor Who has not been, let's say, charged up at all for a long time now. And for the first time in a long time, I'm energized by any new Doctor Who stuff right now. I thought it was proven that Jonathan Majors didn't do it, but I could totally be wrong. If the girl lied, she deserves some sort of punishment and maybe even jail. Apparently after that situation, more people came out and accused him of other stuff. And now that's what everything is kind of about. So, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it, but it is what it is. Yeah, people don't realize these people aren't role models at face value. They're people, good or bad. I hated Felicity for the reasons I gave, nothing to do with Laurel. It's fair enough. Hard to be a choice when your girlfriend is basically gaslighting you the whole time. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. I get that. Like I said, while I agree with the choice of Felicity in the end, they didn't write her very strongly after a point. They just didn't really know what to do with her anymore. Fortunately, Court of a Punk. Yeah, right. I actually called that comment out earlier. I don't know what these are. Indeed, potato. Like your hair, Omni. Thank you. I didn't blow dry it as I typically do because I was lazy last night after the gym. So the curls came out. Even people who were in the wrong served their time and became better people, became a better person, are always slapped with the ex-convict label. They can't find jobs, they lose their rights, etc. Exactly. Missing context. It's very true. Love Omni's there. Oh, thank you guys. Always wore the beanie mostly because I was kind of self-conscious about it most of the time. That's kind of why the beanie thing came. It keeps the hair out of my face a lot of the time, too. That helps, but most of the time it's just like, and I don't like how my hair looks today, so I would just put it on to cover up all of it. So, I don't know, getting a little bit better about it. Personally, I think Injustice is overrated. I agree. When I finally played the game, like years after it came out, I was like, that was fun. That was fine. I like the second one better than the first one, I think, but it's not like this god tier storytelling arc or whatever that I think everybody makes it out to be. At least not for me. I'm so over evil Superman. I just am. A game or movie? Oh, the game or the movie. Probably takes an hour to lay like that. To get it dry, yeah, pretty much. Without the blow dryer. Like, why do we take the right to vote away from prisoners? Like, I get losing the right to own a firearm and the right to vote? It's crazy. I didn't even, like, put that together, that was a thing. I never even considered that aspect of it. Because most of the prisoners are people of color, and most of them wouldn't vote for Republicans. Alright, we're getting a little... I mean, you're not wrong, but... Again, now we're edging on political there. I don't hate the characters that died in Rise of Robot Crew. Okay, that was kind of out of nowhere, but cool. It's kind of too late now, but I would have liked a War on Cybertron trilogy. Have you ever seen the show Transformers War on Cybertron Siege? I've not. I haven't seen that. Yes, that's what I mean. She was just all about her love life. Chuck is fine, but still the weakest link. Fair. Do you think John Cena would return for... Oh, Fast and Furious 10? Maybe, possibly, probably. As far as I know, he doesn't have any beef with Vin Diesel, so possibly. I need more rated R in my life. Me too. You see the new Power Rangers movie? What are your thoughts? Don't spoil. Didn't finish it yet. Are you talking about the one from like 2017, or are you talking about the reunion special that came out like 2 weeks ago that I reacted to? If you haven't seen my reaction to that, check it out. If I did, I wouldn't have made it to season 4 of Rise, but Mikey go on with his aunt because of the death in season 3. I have no idea what you're talking about, Eddie Warbad. Isn't the new Transformers movie already kind of a crossover with Jurassic World? Transformers Fast and Furious? I mean, kinda. If you want to think about it with the animals, the dinosaurs, and all that kind of stuff, kinda. In a way. Rated R, what, like Watchmen movie, Watchmen show, The Boys, Diabolical, Gen B, whatever comes out with Invincible, Deadpool 1, 2, Logan. Is that enough? We just need more. Just need more, man. Always more. Pizza or burger? Pizza. Give me pizza. The Peacock Twisted Metal show looks like a racing version of Last Mailman. Kinda does. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Marcus. I'm sorry, buddy. Thought the otter was supposed to just be a friend. I don't know. I don't know what all this otter stuff is. She kind of messed up the first 5 episodes of the 4th season. Of what season? I'm so lost. With The Last of Us, Mario, game adaptations can bring big audiences. Do you think Disney could make a Kingdom Hearts movie happen? I mean, they could. I mean, hell, Wreck-It Ralph was as much of an amalgamation of all that as you could possibly get. You could definitely pull off a Kingdom Hearts movie, I think, these days. I don't know how you truncate so much of that down into a film length. Unless you did multiple parts per each game, but that would be difficult in and of itself. I think it's doable. It's definitely possible, but it'd be hard. I think you'd need a series more than anything to do it justice. I got inspired by Flashpoint and Back to the Future for season 4. Is this talking about the show that you're kind of writing for yourself? I think. I don't know. Again, I don't know any of these references you're talking about, though. Oliver and Tommy in season 1 had a romantic rivalry over Laurel. I guess that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess them. That's the only one I can think of with that suggestion. I was thinking about maybe Arrow and like Oliver and Merlin, but I don't know if that stayed. Was that really a rivalry? I don't know. I also thought about Thawne and Barry, but they don't have what you would consider a technical, like, rivalry either. So I don't know. Rated R like Barry rated R. I need quality with my visceral mutilation and violence. So while The Boys is okay, I'm more like live action Invincible because that would be a better story for me. Yeah, I agree with you there. The Boys, for me, while I still love it, I still have fun watching it, the last season, to me, last 2 seasons, it's just like, okay, we're still doing the same thing. It's technically one, like they're all one big season. Like there's not been a real conclusion at the end of any of them. And it's just like, I'm not gonna lie, it's starting to feel a little repetitive for me. Young Medicine is synthwave band. They've been produced a little bit of music, but it's always entertaining. I'm gonna check them out because I'm really liking synthwave as of late. This is when I was complaining about the stuff in the roof, whatever that thumping around in the roof was. We're witnessing Omni's horror movie origin story. Yep, demons in the attic. Running around in the attic is an alien. What if Tiny Head lives up there? I'd have to find out how Tiny Head would get up there. I mean, like, there was that leak in the ceiling, so who knows? There could be a big-ass hole up there for all I know. Splinter in the attic? Raccoons eating that fluffy pink stuff. Just the smartest rodents out there. God, yeah. Very, very unpopular opinion, but I never got past episode 3 of The Last of Us. It's probably one of my favorite episodes in TV ever. Episodes in TV ever. I couldn't get into it. I'm just confused. You never got past that episode because it was the best, but then you couldn't get into it. I'm confused. Christine, I'm sorry. I'm misunderstanding this statement. Yeah, I'm so lost. That comment was supposed to get across to me. I'm sorry. Can you reiterate that, please? You got gremlins in your attic. Oh God, they better not eat anything then. Birds in the attic. Smeagol. I'm in the attic. Moles? I assume it's like an animal book club up there and they meet once every couple weeks. Bastards. Don't even invite us. Yeah, the same. Arrow and Prometheus. Slade was only good in season 2. After that, he overstayed his welcome a little bit. He's a fave, but they think they milled it too much. I kind of agree with that a little bit. We do have a groundhog. We do, but I don't know how that fat fuck would get upside. If it's in the attic, it's atticing. An attic hog, not a groundhog. Got a good point. You're not dumb. I accidentally posted, not finishing my thought. Fair enough. Also have the opinion that Slade worked better as a Teen Titans and Dick villain. That's why he was created for After Fall. I agree with that as well. I always like Slade better when he's associated with everybody else, though I do think that they can play around with him and other players and stuff like that, because he is kind of a DC overall villain, I think, at the end of the day now. But yeah, I do like those interactions more. It's either go for a groundhog, but it darts under the house when we leave the house sometimes. Yeah, we never really get a good look at it. Titan's long-awaited Gar episode was good, but man, should have been in season 1 or 2 at the latest. I agree with you there. Which show gave Chester black hole powers? Which, like, let him keep those black hole powers? Yeah, that would have been cool. What if they made a crossover Kid Flash, Arsenal, and Miss Martian? The episode would be called Young Justice. That would have been cool. Will you be reacted to Quantumania, or did you already review it? I've already reviewed it. Check it out. It's on the channel. I wasn't a huge fan. Spoiler alert. Dark is a masterpiece. I'm probably in agreement with that so far, and I haven't even finished it yet. Goat. Laugh. Dark is great. I'm loving it, man. Oh, Dark is the best when you're into it. When you're into it for the ride, you gotta rewatch for things you missed. Don't listen to morons. It's better experience that way. Thank you. If you go live in any of the times that the tunnels empty out onto, which would it be? I think if we go back, I think it would be cool to go back to the 80s. I wouldn't be able to relive my childhood, but it would be a good time. I would do that. I would definitely go back to the 80s and experience some of the stuff I was too young to experience, and then re-experience some of the other stuff, but then I would miss all these lovely little advancements in technology though. But If I had to pick out of any of those options, an apocalypse, present day, where I'm already at, or the 80s and the 20s, or the 50s, definitely the 80s. Chuck. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention. Somyo. Chester needs trauma and darkness and becomes serious. Hate his jokes. Disagree on all states. Exactly. Just joined. Why does the chat not seem to match up with on screen? Are we so far in front? Yeah, we were like 50 minutes behind on chat before when you came in Jaro. I like him. I just want him better because I recall he talked about being a black man and his grandpa, and then they stopped any development. That's what I mean, more so the trashing the actor. My bad. I don't really think you came off as trashing the actor. I mean, I was just trying to get what everybody was talking about. I don't think anybody came off of there trashing the guy that plays Chester. Yeah, they as far as Cecile has gotten more attention than anybody has these last 2 seasons, so yeah, Chester I want more from. I do like him. I like him, but he's never really branched out beside that 1 or 2 episodes, branched out beyond just being a Cisco replacement. I don't think people understand. People can be petty sometimes. Like, they get annoyed enough. They can easily decide to drop the dark reactions and just watch it on your own time. Yeah, this almost happened. Almost happened. Have I seen the movie Catwoman? I have. If I skip any things, like if you're following along where I'm actually at in the chat, if I skip anything, it's because I already talked about it. Because I did read things straight off of the chat at some points when we were getting into a conversation. I have seen Catwoman, and it is awful. I see in the chat that there's some talk about Dark. Does anyone know how many minutes ago that was roughly? It was a while ago. Halle Berry's version? Yes, it was awful, man. Have you seen Batman Forever, Batman Robin? Have you seen 2020? Yeah, man, I've seen every DC movie. I've seen all the DC movies. Let's see. You over here watching every episode of every Arrowverse show? Me too. I've watched every episode of all of the Arrowverse shows. The stupid nipple suits. All the nipple suits. Yeah. What is going to... Oh my god. What are you going to nurture your son in a costume? What? Oh, for the nipples. I was so confused there for a second. I stopped watching The Flash after Godspeed and Flash were fighting with lightning bolts like they were lightsabers. I just rage quit the fuck out. I can get that. I was just in it for the moment. It was goofy as fuck, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. They can do that in the comics and stuff, but it was weird. It just came out of nowhere because it hadn't really been established yet in the show. So it was a little jarring. But by God, did I at least laugh? I had fun with it. It was ridiculous, but I had fun with it. I can definitely see though a lot of people ripped on it though. I feel that, Drew. The last episode of Flash, but the last episode was really good, wasn't? I thought that was the last episode. Hot take: I miss the bat nipples. What the bat nipples? On bat nippies? I think the fact that Superman and Lois can make you like Tyler and Bitsy versus what they were on Supergirl and is a testament to the writers and the editors. My lord, yes. I didn't dislike Bitsy on Supergirl. She just wasn't really around much, and what we did see of her was just kind of like very surface level. Tyler was great in the moments where he was just giving advice and talking, like where he was just kind of being Clark or just being a mentor. Outside of that, which is what the show really plays into those strengths on, that humanity that's there. He was great at embodying the humanity of Superman, and I'm glad that the Superman and Lois has honed in on that and realized how good he was at that and built the foundation of the show on that. Because as Superman, Supergirl hated him. Hated him. The writers didn't know what to do with him. They didn't respect him, that's for damn sure. And as a Superman fan, that's why I rage quit, was how they were handling the character. which is funny because you can see it in Crisis when he's in the crossovers. You can see it in Elseworlds. He's written different, like when the other show writers write the character, he acts differently. Like you can tell between the Supergirl episode of the Crisis and Supergirl episode of the Elseworlds how differently the writers of each show think differently about Superman. Not Tyler, the character of Superman. Like, it's just, God, nothing pissed me off more. And Ragu, thank you for that super chat. Jesus Christ, I'm so far behind. Tipping Omni because this stream was a lot. Kind of wanted to punch my TV, but I have a nice TV. I'm sorry we got you riled up to want to punch your TV. Thank you for the super chat, Ragu. God damn, man. I gotta find my place. Here we are. Love your content. Thank you, Love and Heart. His bat nipples are all bad. Grant Gustin is my Flash too, but my second is probably Michael Rosenbaum. His name keeps showing up, so I guess he's my Wally. He definitely would be my Wally, that's for sure. Grant Gustin is the Flash, but I don't really dislike any. Facts. Thank you, Omni. I hated the comments on the last Dark reaction. I couldn't disagree more with all of those. Why would you purposefully want to spoil yourself on something no one is supposed to notice? Yeah, like I can pick up on some things, but I'm also like starting season 2 knowing that it's probably only going to get worse. I just want to go in, relax, and just let the story tell me. I'll have my theories just kind of come at me, but I'm not gonna. I don't feel the need to just hyper analyze everything. I was very scared going into season 1, so I did kind of over fixate on certain things, but I really just want to go through it and just kind of feel it. You know, it'll come when it comes. At that point, and much less of anything, it makes no sense. Exactly. Ezra Miller gives me more of Wally West vibes than Barry. He acts like Spider-Man whenever he's around Batman. That is very true. Flash versus Savitar with no powers. Who would win? Probably Flash, but I don't know. It's tough. I think that people forget reacting means getting it wrong or being confuddled and enjoying that because you already watched it. Yeah, it's like people expect you to find out the things that they've picked out after multiple rewatches, and that's just not what happens. The confusion, like re-experiencing your confusion, is how you do that. You can't go into it expecting everybody to know all the secrets and all the stuff that you already know ahead of time, blah, blah, blah. That's not what it is. He's getting closer to the chat. He's been an hour behind for so long. Now I'm like almost 30 minutes behind still. I gotta catch up because I got stuff to do. What if Flash features a Flash cameo? It's Kyle Gallner from Smallville. If Kyle Gallner's Flash shows up and not Grant's, I will cry. Probably not. I will probably rage. I would like to rage. I'm being feisty. Next thing you know, they'll be able to. I'm getting wine rage. God damn. I only know Iris. Iris is alright. I only know Iris as a character, not Felicity or Lois, so I got nothing, but man, she gets a lot from the fandom. Yes, she does. Slash season 9 from episodes 1 to 5, I loved it, but season 6, 7, 8, not that great. 4 and 5 could have been better, but I still liked it. I'm right there with you. They weren't too bad. I enjoyed it for what it was. Love the Fifth Element, man. I gotta rewatch it one of these days. I really do. I recently watched the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series, and I gotta say, for me, it's probably the best Spider-Man series that I've ever seen. Near perfect. One of these days, maybe I'll get to watch it. I used to be a big Felicity fan. Even made some fan edits that are still on my channel, by the way, if anybody wants to check it out. Oh, that's cool. Dinah, fine as hell from Arrow. And so is Lois from Superman and Lois. Yeesh, yeesh. You speak so highly about Superman and Lois. I might check it out someday. It was one of the first new CW shows I cut and didn't even start watching because of the main actors in it. Maybe I misjudged. I think a lot of people did. But it's large. It's by and far, like, as much as I love Arrow, it's better written than Arrow was at the start. If you compare season 1 of Arrow to season 1 of this, Superman and Lois is written way better. The performances are the best on the CW, I would dare say. But yeah, I wouldn't go into it expecting every other CW to be like every other CW show, though. It does have its similarities, sure, but like the end of the day, it stands out on its own legs quite well. I think I stopped loving her in season 3, and she started acting like hating her in like 4 or 5. I'm still not over the freaking temper tantrum over his own kid, as if she had any say in his decisions. Honestly, I don't remember, but I know around that time she was really starting to get on my nerves too. Personally, the first canary should have been Laurel, not Sarah. I mean, it was just a mistake from the get-go, but it is what it is. Never joined live chats, but this is perfectly fun to match my buzz crushing this candy. Thanks. Hell yeah. Was Jason Todd's... were Jason Todd in DC Titans? Jason Todd is in DC's Titans. It's because they're dating. It's okay not to like a character, but sometimes it'd be like that. Jason has dated almost everyone Dick has. He's dated Batgirl and Starfire. Dick is canonically a hoe in the comics. God damn. Bruh, half the Titans dated Starfire. Roy did it too. Yes, they did. He never dated either, actually. Never been with Barbara. Only slept with Corey. There are iterations that have been with Barbara. Damn. When do you think that we will have more relationship progression between Lana and John Henry Irons, since we got Kyle and Chrissy officially talk? And do you think that it's going to take a slower time? I think it might take a slower time because I think they're doing something with Lana and everything that's going on around her. I think that's going to come back. Also, you know, John Henry was away to take care of his family after the Bruno threat. So I would have to imagine once he comes back in, it'll probably start to surface more. Now that Chrissy and Kyle are at the front, I think that's going to cause Lana to start to kind of think about things, and then we'll probably see where that goes from there. That's my guess. My favorite couple on The Flash was Barry and Patty Spivot. I don't think she's coming back for the finale, which would really suck. I did really like their chemistry. I think they had some of the best chemistry on the show. I did like Patty a lot. Didn't see the stream up. What did you think of the recent Flash episode? I'm really satisfied with the end of Oliver and Dick's story, and love seeing Barry and Oliver again. I loved it. If you haven't checked my reaction, go check out my reaction. That's for sure. There was a whole thing where Jason liked Batgirl. No matter what, it's better than Batgirl dating Bruce. Agreed. Definitely agree with that. Yeah, that was weird times. I was just saying, sometimes you can't explain why something doesn't work to somebody's satisfaction, and it's cool. I always like to hear people out, even if I'm like, nope. I'd argue that Roy and Corey weren't actually Roy and Corey. Like, Dirt, Bad, Leonard, never in concept, pop up his ooh Jason Todd. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about there. It's the fact, Sean. Boy needed to get some STI tests. Yeah, Titans did. Let's see. I feel that. I actually like Babs dating Bruce over her dating any Robin. Yeah, it feels so icky, her dating Bruce, though, to me. You're aware that Dick and Barbara are the same age. Well, Babs shouldn't really date. 3/4 of them is good. Why are we talking about this? I'm skipping any of this shit. Anyway, hair good. What a comment to jump to. Hair good. Been thinking about the finishing Titans. Stopped after they established Tim and Bernard because I'm a Steph Tim shipper. God damn it, man. Too much shipping stuff can just come out now. Is it worth finishing? I think so. I think at this point, I do think it is. Let's see. So wrong for that comment, but I didn't know prisoners can still get married, and people were like, no. I'm like, wait, why not? It's a dating game, so why is it a serious honor? Oh, interesting. Bruce belongs to Selena and or Talia. Dick belongs with Barbara. I like Dick and Corey the most. Dick and Barbara was... I get it. As like a long-term thing, I was never really all for it, though. Ship Wars happening in the chat. Transformers Rise of the Beast is an alien car dinosaur action movie. Pretty much. I love that Dick is canonically a hoe. If I had such a buffet. Oh, man, those snacks are coming in hot, Christina. Hell yeah. I mean, canonically, Dick's ass cheeks have names, so... You gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta work with what you gotta work. Man, you should definitely read comments if you genuinely believe that Barbara was a good girlfriend. Oh, God. Okay, I'm against stopping all this stuff. Nightwing's been with so many women in DC Universe, it's insane. Let's see, what's in the attic? I don't know. Bunch of stuff. Hopefully nothing's going to eat me. Player, who you telling? Synthwave is the newest Titans episode with Chef's Kiss. Dude, the first two episodes of this new part of Titans was so annoying to edit because there was so much music in it. God, it was frustrating. Gotta go. Weapons to shoot, people to loot and steal. Hell yeah, Summer. Go wreck shit up. This is what happens when you type hi. Hell yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do. Have you seen All of Us Are Dead? If yes, how hyped are you for season 2? I have not seen it. When it came out and everybody else was checking it out, it didn't look like something that I was really in the mood for, so I haven't watched it yet. I might one of these days, but probably not in time for season 2 though. What's up, Ginger? I'm very but now present. I think there's a missing late in there. But how are you doing? I'm doing good. What have you missed? There's been a lot. There's been some heated conversations. There's been some other stuff, and then people having some shipping complaints. And not like object shipping, like relationship shipping battles within the chat about certain things. But yeah, overall, there's been some mostly decent talk going on. I think Christina has heard it's one of the best episodes. She couldn't get through it. Could be completely wrong. Greetings from Ukraine. Your Dark Series content is really interesting to watch. Thank you, XY. Shout out to the Ukraine. You think we could get a God of War show? We are getting a God of War show. Would I prefer live action or animated? I would go with animation. I think animation would be probably better, but we're getting a live action series from Amazon Prime. Already in production. Looks like I'm associating most against the Batman writers. I find that most of their interactions boring. They're trying too hard to make him a Batman villain, and there's no stakes. That's fine. I get that. Deathstroke works better for street heroes, in my opinion. When he gets into the powers, he just gets clapped. Yeah, he makes much more sense on the ground level. You miss someone getting bonked. You miss someone. Oh, that's Ginger coming in. DCU tried with Lex revealing Bruce's identity, but like comics, Slade already knows. He doesn't give a shit about Bruce. Love the third episode, but stopped watching after that. I couldn't get into the premise. The main characters, maybe I'm just done with zombies. Honestly enough, there's barely any zombies in it. Like, episode 5 has some, like the most you'll see in the show, but most of the episodes don't have zombies at all. I would recommend picking it up because it is really good. Picking it back up when you have time and have a chance. I mean, a lot of people who were a fan of the game, their major complaint was the lack of the infected. Mine as well. One of my complaints about the show was the lack of infected. So I would give it a chance because there's barely any infected in the show. You know, you see some, I'd say in episode 5, but outside of that, it's like maybe 1, 2 out of the last 3 episodes. So yeah, I'd give it another shot. It's not as much of a zombie show as you would think in the end, or that it's set up to be. Most of the zombie-ish shit happens in the first few episodes. Still behind on the chat. We might make it 3 hours. Was, in my opinion, an isolated, beautiful story that happened to be attached to The Last of Us. That's true. I see what you're saying. Series. Now I finally get your wish. Here's a history with Snyderverse Batman and Deathstroke. It said that he blames Batman for the death of his son. Interesting. Feel it. And me and my friends trashed her so bad after season 8 on a podcast, and I'm pretty sure Eric listened because it hasn't come up since. God damn. What's this? A work text. That's not for me. Okay, good. My point about those DC movies where they're terrible costumes. Right. I got that. I knew where you were going with that, but I was talking purely on like the TV level. So they took it as a reason for the beefs against the Titan Titans and gave them to Bruce. Stupid. I want to jump on real quick and say that I really enjoyed your reaction to the Stargate movie. Well, thank you. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I'm glad people enjoyed that. It's going a little bit better than I expected it to. Most CW costumes aren't too bad. I agree. I like a lot of them. How's it going in UA always keeping up with the goings on. This one went over my head again. I'm sorry. The best and most hilarious parts of Slade's character is that he's a pathetic geriatric man having a big against preteen. There's a missing word in there, but I get what you're saying. Well, I mean, if you consider the thing between him and Tara, that gets into even some weirder territories. The Helmet of Fate was in the Arrowverse and they never did anything with it. I can't forget about it. Fair enough. The Titans don't exist in the Snyderverse. It was also about Grant Wilson. It was a joke. Nobody else. No, please, nobody hit me. No, I know that. Don't worry. Hair. Monkey. Also, he blames the Titans for both his son's death and Dick's especially, along with the turning of Rose against him. I don't know. I might want bat nipples if I'm cosplaying. Well, alright. I mean, is there a better cosplay than bat nipples? And we're back on that. What about the Batfleck suit? I mean, that's my favorite Batman suit we've got so far. Superman's got to be a side character since the writers don't know how to make Supergirl better than Superman in the show. It's too bad. I mean, there's a way to do it, and they definitely didn't do it. Too bulky, make a convincing cosplay, I think. Brainy should have joined Team Flash after Supergirl ended. Ah, I would have loved that. Brainy's my favorite character in all of Supergirl, man. Alright, what about Christian Bale? I need to go rewatch the Arrowverse. It's been a while. That'd be one big-ass rewatch. 3 hours. We gotta go to the store. We do need to go to the store. But we got time. This channel has 37 people, yet this video is like 7 likes. Sus. Like the video! Please? Gotta tell you that some of the characters in the Rise of the Robot crew are based on myself and some of the friends and some of the original characters. And when people talk about how great Wally is, which, to be frank, I love him to bits, but sometimes we bring flashbacks to Republican Wally. I might not be in the know for that one, so I don't know what that... I'm not familiar with Republican Wally. Just finished Sandman. I loved it. My favorite episode is the episode with Death. I think that's most people's favorite episode. Made me feel so much emotion that I didn't know I could feel watching a piece of fiction. Oh, it's so good, man. So good. Only one person got me riled up. My TV survived, and I think the feisty mod ladies dealt with it. Yes, they did. Sandman was great. Yes, it was. I didn't get you riled up, did I, Ragu? No, it definitely was not you. Would you fight Green Arrow or Creed or the Flash or Cyborg? What the fuck? I would, if I had to pick between any of them to fight, I would probably pick Creed because I feel like that's probably the one that would give me the least beating. Actually, no, the Flash, because he would just talk to me, and I would agree, and the fight wouldn't happen. Sandman, another masterpiece. Oh my god, it's so good, man. Creed would punch me, Arrow would shoot me, Cyborg would blast me, Barry would stand there making jokes as I kill random civilians to twist his emotions only to punch me in the end. Wow. Sean, what the fuck? You nailed it. Fine. But be been chastised to like. I'm trying to ignore your typos because half the time I don't know what you're saying. God, you must have. How much have you snacked on? I would love to partake as well. Actually, I have never in my life been high. I've been drunk, but I've never been high. What do you think about Family Guy? I used to love the shit out of it, and it really got old real quick the more popular it got. So yeah, it's fine. Now, it's fine. I used to love it, though. Please ignore my typos. Ragu. Hair good. I might be arrested by Cyborg and the Flash and think Oliver would kill me. Think I'm on the bad side, beat me up, and Creed, I would just be embarrassed in the ring. Because I can't box. Yeah. I agree with that one. Jedi Survivor is so much fun. I finished your first gameplay. Hell yeah. It will be a lot smoother in part 2. Because I'm going to be continuing it on my PlayStation 5. Because apparently, I tested it. I spent money to test it because there's no other way to do it. And it's running way more smoothly than my PC than the PC version is right now. I went through, like, there was like a hiccup here or there, but not half as bad as it was on my computer, which again is just an optimization thing with the devs, with what they put out and what they released, because my build should be able to eclipse whatever the PS5's doing. And whew, it's running circles around my Jedi Survivor at the moment. Jim and Juan, Nightwing's greatest assets. Yes. I think the thing in the attic was going to eat anything. It'd probably be Pop-Tart first. Probably. It's always good to start your breakfast off with a Pop-Tart. Stop that. Comics was the worst. If that happened, it would be the biggest worst day of my life, and I would be like Rocky and Rocky 2 or Creed and Creed 2. Team Jim. Are we picking our sides on which ass cheek we're affiliated with? Gotta run. Stay classy, new friends. Omni, you're adorbs. Well, thank you, Christina. Have fun. Be safe, and just have a good, relaxed little Saturday. You were a delight to have it here. No lie. Let's see. There's an issue where Midnighter recognizes a disguised Dick Grayson by his ass cheeks. Makes sense, which I'm very curious to see Midnighter come up in the Authority in this new James Gunn universe. Curious to see how that goes. I'm not watching Titans, but I will likely watch the episodes with Doom Patrol recently. Yeah. I mean, this season, honestly, has not been terrible. I think each season's improved. I like this one way more than the season 3, which I did enjoy, even though it was kind of sloppy. The season overall has been pretty solid. But yeah, for sure. I'm more of a thighs kind of girl. Yeah, I can feel that. Thick thighs do save lives. They can also take them, too. Let's not forget. There's a whole suffocation kink with that whole that whole deal. Why the name Dick? Did they? Why didn't they name him John, Adam, Michael, or Alex? I don't know. Because they wanted to go with Richard. His name is Dick because his name is Richard. Rick rhymes with Dick. What's up, Mustafa? We're almost able to wrap up. I'm only 10 minutes behind now. The obsession over his ass is just overdone at this point. It stopped being funny a long time ago, especially considering how uncomfortable he is with it in canon. This is what it is, man. People are always going to love some juicy hams, man. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I'm always down for some good hams. If Omni turned into his Omni, he would be Zomni. That's a good one. I like that. I'm excited for the Caped Crusader show on Amazon. It was slated to be Batman the Animated Series without all the censors from the 90s. I know. I was excited for it too. I'm still shocked as all hell that they sold it to Amazon and are not putting it on Max with all the other DC content. What are your thoughts on Tom Holland being the main focus for Avengers 5? Is that a thing? I've never heard anything about it. I would totally be okay with that. You miss Ragu getting angry. I'm usually nice. Sorry, people. But that dude got to me. Apologies. I mean, you handled yourself pretty well. His name is Richard, and Dick is the old-timey nickname for Richard. I still never understood that, but yeah. I gotta stop saying that. I'm okay with that, Sinesh. Last of Us is largely a story about love and good and bad, and that comes with it as well. That is by far large the theme of it all. I'm always saying that if something bad happened to me. Fair enough. I honk? I think there could have been more infected outside walking around in the buildings looking for some reason. I agree. There definitely should have been. Underground. Yep. We don't talk about Terra Deathstroke. Well, it came back up again when John and Coy over on The Real Rejects watched the Judas Contract for the first time. That definitely threw them for a loop. This is interesting for Coy, of all people, who wasn't familiar with the Judas Contract, for him to not know the storyline and just be confused like anybody else might have been. But yeah, I'm curious to see like if he checks that out eventually. It's supposed to be beef, not big. It's not my fault. It's just my friend Sam making a lot of jokes, and it might get me killed if I did that. Take care of yourself, though. I'd argue that we should always talk about it and never let anyone forget what that man is. For sure. For sure. It's getting closer. I am. My room is being redecorated, so I've been boxing my stuff, slowly regretting buying so many Funko Pops. Yeah, that's going to be a mistake of mine, man. There can never be enough Funko Pops. I know. Still can't stop laughing about what he said about the military being on a film set because the phone cut off, the power went on the set. Funko Pops are my kink. That's great. I wish I was blissfully ignorant as you were about Republican Wally. It was in the 80s, I think. He only became likable when he became Flash. I'm glad I don't know about that. That's what happens when in the beginning of the Flash, he's talking to a bad guy, wins, and then learns a life lesson and wins. Being high is good for the experience, but it's not good to do regularly based off personal experience. I don't watch Family Guy, I get tired of it. There's so many memes and repeated jokes. Someone at my work just watched Mando, but it's a dodgy DVD, which annoys me. Ha! I heard that last comment and had to come back and started at 35, and it's life-altering for an introverted TV nerd, that's for sure. I don't remember what this was. Now this is my memory is getting to me. I don't know what this was in reference to. What comment was this in reference to? I don't know if you're still here, Christina, but let me know. The game's terribly optimized. Yeah, I started off like the first little bit, I was like, this isn't as bad as everybody's saying. And then the more I played, it started crashing my OBS too, and I don't know why, because it's not using any of the resources. Like, I don't understand how or why that happened. Oh, okay, the weed. You were talking about weed. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Thanks. But yeah, I was like, this isn't too bad, but like it slowly got worse the longer I was playing. By the end of the session, it was just falling apart, and then my OBS froze twice. So there was like 2 to 3 minutes of gameplay that completely got missed and unrecorded, got lost because of that. But yeah, hopefully this time around, if I stream it off the PS5 that's not using any of my GPU resources, hopefully OBS will be stable enough. Because goddamn, I didn't have any issues with Resident Evil 4. I haven't had any issues with any game really with recording it while playing it. I have a single system set up, so maybe I should think about getting a 2 system set up in the future. But yeah, they need to fix this fucking game, man. That's unheard of. It's not unheard of, but it's what's the word I'm looking for? Unacceptable in today's age, when more people than anything play on PC. Are you checking out Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in theaters or waiting to do a reaction? Theaters all day, man. Theaters all day for the big stuff. When Jedi Survivor. Got my tickets for Guardians 3. I don't have my tickets yet. We're almost there. If that happened the first day of my job, I didn't know they were going on the run. No one hasn't seen me for a while. If that had happened. Come on, 3 hours. The fuck did I come back to? We've had some interesting conversations. Spider-Man be the leader of the Avengers, that could be cool. I don't know. Or Captain Sam America. I would prefer Sam, but we'll see how it goes. Or actually, I don't know. Sam or Carol would be good either way. Christina J was awesome. Yes, she was. I don't know. Have you been in here before? If you have, I don't recall, and I apologize. But I don't know. Anybody coming in hot and heavy and high into some heated conversations is always fucking fine with me, man. Either always like the joke of how do you get dick out of Richard, but by asking nicely. That's funny. Sam Wilson has been there since Winter Soldier, and Spider-Man already led this other Spider-Man they could pull off a job. Ant-Man is not a leader material, that is true. Hawkeye, Hulk, Thor probably won't come back. We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. Christina, that's illegal. Weed is not good. It depends on where you're at. It's illegal here, unless it's medical, sadly. Man. Seriously, though, how I got through the pandemic with a brain still intact and no PTSD. I can imagine. Don't do drugs, kids. I almost read that as don't do kids drugs. Maybe not in my state. Are you gonna try to get him at 3 hours, Sean? Look, we're almost there. We did. We just crossed 3 hours actually. I'm a legal card. Oh yeah. Damn, for real. Still baffled as to why Brainy ended up with Dreamer. Don't get me wrong, I love Dreamer, my favorite character from Supergirl. I never understood why Brainy didn't date Kara like in the comics. I don't know either. And it's not a drug, it's a plant. And if you so happen to set it on fire, something happens. Okay, seriously, I got things to do. Thank you. Take care, Christina, have a great day. Everyone is moving there. You guys still live? Wow, nice. Not for much longer. Bye, Omni. I have to sleep now. It's 3 a.m. in my country. It's a different time zone. Here, I had a great time in here. Can't wait for your next live stream. Thanks for stopping in, Sinesh. I'll see you next time. The more I watch X-Files, the more I have hots for Scully. That just makes you human. I mean, you just gotta. Scully is fine. We was in some places here in Canada where you find it more often. Tim Hortons. Really? Interesting. First time. Okay, that's what I thought. We talked about shipping, butts, and first stream would turn to fast. I mean, heavily decriminalized. Hell yeah, as it should be. It's too close. Don't do drugs or kids. God damn. Yes, sir. 3 hours. I still don't think entirety of Flames 5 and 6 would be Ant-Man with Always Sunny conspiracy meme about Kang, and he'll be carrying Wolf everywhere, and eventually Kang Dynasty happens. I can feel you on that one. Thanks for the fun stream, Ollie. Have a great rest of your day. We did it. Morbid time. Cars should end up with the 31st century like her in the contracts. I thought they were going to do that, but then they didn't. Bye, Christian. Hell yeah, we did it. Guys, we made it. All right, I got shit to do. I'm sure a lot of you do too. I will let you go. If you haven't hit that like button already, hit that like button. Thanks everybody for the entertainment and the conversations, even if we disagreed. But guys, that is it for now. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next week. As long as nothing comes up, I'll see you guys next week. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.